Tudo Spoon, to be part of our discussion. Spoon, Spoon, Spoon Television. Spoon, Spoon, Spoon Radio Station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat get my grandchildren, my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? This one you bought today. Spoon TV. This one you bought today. Spoon TV. Spoon. Spoon TV. Spoon Entertainment.
Nelson.
Okay, folks, while I wait to welcome you to another edition of the program Spoon Talk. We're here tonight live on Spoon 107.5 FM, Fabric 101.1 FM. Of course, the program is live online. The Super 95.5 FM as well. Online, we're live on Facebook, Spoon TV Live, Fabric TV Live, and of course, Super TV Live. On YouTube, we're there at Spoon Talk Live. So you can follow any of the mediums in case you want to watch the show live or you just want to listen, encourage someone to listen with you tonight. I'm Nelson Colette. Of course, James Goode Flomo is here. And let me say good evening to Dr. Richardson, who has joined us as well. Good evening.
Good evening, Nelson. Good evening, good day. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, from my end, I'm doing good.
Good day.
I'm trying.
I'm sorry. I'm doing good. Call my name. Nelson, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. And we're grateful to be moving on. Jim can say God money here. So yeah, so God money all of us.
That's good. I guess I can say happy Friday. Is 4:00 here in the United States, and I believe 8:00 in Liberia. So you guys, your Friday is almost over, or perhaps you're about to celebrate the weekend. But we're just people are just making it home. For those of us who work at home, we're just kind of ending our work day. So I want to welcome all of you Liberians that are listening to us. This is your platform. I want to welcome you to your platform. And thank you for joining us. We have been doing a myriad of things, today, but today is Friday. You decided to be here with us. I also want to welcome Salimatu to the program. Salimatu, it's always good to see you. I love your
Hello,
I
everyone.
love, I love your African artwork or artifact. Yeah, the mask. I collect masks.
Oh,
Yeah, I love every time I travel to Liberia, I try to get one
yeah, yeah.
and bring it over. Yeah, it's beautiful. See our work is so beautiful. Liberia got so much talent. I'm assuming you got those from Liberia,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they got so much talent, and there's a lot of beautiful things in our country. So today, Liberians, we want to present information to you. It's going to be another interactive, spirited spoon talk here today, and I want to welcome you. Just get prepared. Share the show. Share the episode today. You can always go back to if you are unable to finish the night here with us. You can always go back and watch. I always go back and watch the episodes just to catch things that I miss, even though I'm here. But share the show as you go along. Call a friend to join you. Get informed about what is going on in Liberia. There's so much stuff going on in our country, and we really, really need to know what is going on. So today we have a guest that will be coming in. I'll let you know as soon as I get other additional information about our guest that's coming in. But our panelists are expected to roll in. Before we do that, I will ask Nelson to update us on the trending issues that are in Liberia here in Good Day. And then Salamatu and I will welcome our guests here. I like the fact that she's joining early enough to do that. We'll welcome our guests. You are an integral, instrumental part of the show. We like welcoming you here, and I want to offer you to put your comments in the comment section, be a part of the show. Just don't cuss us, as Salimatu can say. Don't abuse us. Don't get no bad abuse here. That all. You can stick to the issues. I really like it when people stick to the issues, because sometimes when you stick to the issues, you give me a moment to pause and think about something. But if you just tell me, say, oh, Dr. Richardson, you smiling, or Dr. Richardson is smiling, I'm like, but how that one supposed to have anything going on in my mind or in the country now? So yeah, just stick to the issue, okay? We like it like that. Okay, Nelson, and good day. I'm gonna circle back to you so you can tell us what's going on before we welcome our audience as our panelists roll in.
Yeah. So lots of happenings in the country today. Beginning with the election issue. As we are aware, the country will be going to election in October. So there are different things popping up ahead of October. So the first thing is that today the collaborating political parties, the CPP, they actually so the collaborating political parties filed a petition before the Supreme Court of the country, and they are raising concerns about the constitutionality of this whole action from the National Elections Commission to conduct elections after a census, but without the demarcation exercise as mandated or required by the Constitution of the country in Article 80 of the Constitution. And so they have some serious concerns regarding that aspect of the whole election process, how everything is going on. So they filed a petition before the Supreme Court today, and this is something that a lot of people in the country have been, concerned about. Quite recently, the Senate set up a committee to look into whether or not they can use the result from the recently conducted census to be for this election, whether they can use it to carry on this demarcation exercise as required by the Constitution before this election. So that's a discussion that's been in the corridors for some time. But the collaborating political parties just raised that concern today in a petition. And another thing is that why this is going on, the Chief Justice, Siaden Yo, quite recently disclosed that the full bench of the Supreme Court is ready. They are prepared to take on cases that will be coming up from activities, from election activities, but they will not hesitate throwing out cases that will go before them without any magnitude. And she went on to say that in previous election, even when she was not Chief Justice of the country, she noticed that there were a lot of cases that went before the Supreme Court, but most of those cases were just based on rumors, allegations, and everything. So she sent out a very important information to all of the actors that if they are going before the Supreme Court from now to the election, after election, their cases should have magnitude. They should have pieces of evidence, the facts, and everything before going to the Supreme Court, because they will not hesitate to throw some of those cases out. And one of the statements that a lot of people have been talking about is one that came from the Deputy Police Director for Crime Services, Colonel Morba, when he at the Ministry of Information Mika's press briefing quite recently, that was on Thursday, disclosed that in fact he was like advising the population, like saying to Liberians that they should not pull up resistance if their homes were invaded by some unknown men, whether armed robbers or whatever. They should cooperate with them. They should give them whatever they want. They shouldn't put out up resistance, because doing so might just result to those individuals taking some brutal actions against them. So he said that was in the spirit of just cautioning the citizens. But a lot of people have been talking about that as well. Some people are looking at it from the standpoint of why should it's the security, who should be providing security, then be talking about this. So there has been mixed reaction on that. A couple of other issues happening in the country, some of which I think the team will talk about.
Thank you very much, Nelson. Well done. I want to go over to you. Good day. Do you have anything to add on?
Yep. The president left the country today for America and the UAE, and also today we saw soup at the Fenner campus reacting to the statement that came out yesterday that student politics was being banned by the university. Today, they came out to say that is not the case, and they will stand up to the administration until the right thing is done. And they started standing up to the administration today by burning tires in the middle of the route connecting Monrovia and Kakata, right at the entrance of Fenner campus. So they started already, and I'm told they have a plan to continue this for the entire semester. They are expected to do final in the coming weeks. So they believe that if the university will not retract or come out to say what the statement they came out with, it is not a case, they will continue to disrupt classes. So today, those who went to Fenner to school, they did not sit in class, or none of them had time to even go for lecture. I spoke to most of them, and they were like, yes, no way. And we have video of that to also show that they were in the street today.
Wow. Never a dull moment in our beloved country. So I want to thank you guys for updating us. Now I'm going to go to the panelists to ask their views on what they heard. Today we're going to be talking about these different topics here. We did have someone coming in, but there was a change in our program today. So we will just continue on with the trending issues that are happening in the country. But on my list of things I wanted us to address, obviously the violence at Fendel campus. so we can have some thoughts about that. We'll share our thoughts about this, and want to talk about this whole election issue regarding the check that was never received by NEC, and how does that impact uh, NEC if they don't have money to follow up to conduct the election. I actually pulled out a call to the CPP, Elisha Stowe and Martin Kohler, to come and speak about their petition to the Supreme Court. We'll talk about it a little bit, but I think they're the best people that will be able to explain to the Liberian people their petition and have us ask them some questions. So I'm going to actually start with Salimatu. Salimatu, anything on your mind? Any thoughts? Anything about the overview? Any overview you have about the trending issues and what is on your mind?
I read a recent article that was published by the Robert Lansing Institute regarding the violence leading up in the elections in Liberia, and all of the concerns that we're raising. Apparently, they're also raising it. For those who may not know about the Robert Lansing Institution, this is an institution that was is actually named after one of the U.S. Secretary of State from back in the early 1900s. He's best known for his negotiation between the U.S. and Japan back then. But this institution, what they do, they write about, of course, governance and democracy and how it affects not just the country it's in, but how it could spill over to other countries. So the article was pretty interesting. The focus, I will go ahead and put the link in the chat, but everything that, the opposition or the Liberian people are concerned about this elections, they sort of kind of pointed out that, the insecurity, the violence that's happening and going to continue to happen, simply because, as they would kind of lightly put it, we have a president that is anxious to remain in power. And by reading the article, it just kind of suggests that, people know that there's a lot of inconsistency with the process. And it just pretty much looked like it's leading up to chaos and possibly, allegedly a fraudulent election. So it was interesting to see that there are so many other people who are watching this election. And I think what we're seeing now with, the students at LU, sorry, I'm going to call it LU, but I have my parents saying to call it. Yeah. What we're seeing at LU, we're going to continue seeing this insecurity and violence throughout until October and even after, depending on the results of the elections. So,
okay,
a seatbelt on.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into that topic, what's going on at LU. But so if we can just briefly get our thoughts, I neglected to welcome our audience, so I want to do that. And Leo, you can join in helping us, and Bakon, you can join in helping us too. So Leo, what is on your mind? Give me 2 minutes, and then we'll just turn our attention to our audience. I just loved welcoming them. They're part of the show.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. What is on my mind is I'm disturbed that we pretend in Liberia like we don't know when the elections arrive. It's like we were surprised that, elections are this year, October. Yeah, it's like we know every 6 years there are presidential and legislative elections. It's not a surprise. We know how much it costs because we've done it before. So we've seen the budget. We know where the potential challenges and potential problems are because we've done it before. We've had some of the problems emerge in different ways. Sometimes we've been helped by our partners and by friends. But when will we start to realize that we got 6 years to prepare? First of all, once the elections are over, what baffles me is that the Election Commission just goes dormant. So the Election Commission can only start working 12 months to the election or 14 months to the election or 24 months to the elections. But here's what bothers me the most about the entire elections. In a country where there is no law about data integrity or data protection, in a country where government ministries are run on Gmail accounts, in a country where less than 20% of the population knows how to operate an email, in a country where even the Supreme Court cannot afford computer systems to run its day-to-day operation. How did we come up to the conclusion that we can do a biometric voter registration system with 6 months to the date of the election and don't expect chaos? How is that possible? Even the training that would be required for local election officials and the testing that's required would have taken at least 1 year. The data in a country where we have no consolidated data centers to begin with. So this would be the first attempt ever. We have none of those foundational pieces in places. We are convincing ourselves that we are prepared to do a biometric voter registration system. Now, what confuses me is that I heard that we're not voting biometric system. We're not doing voter registration biometric. So if we're doing the voting process itself manual, then what is the point of a biometric registration system anyway? It makes no sense, because then you are still using 2 different types of system anyway for the election, because I thought a biometric registration system would have supported the voting process because the consistency of the data flows through. But you get a biometric ID card and you still get to come to the voting booth and do your thing manually. So if Salamantu resemble one woman and she lead a country and leave her voting card, her biometric voting card with a woman. And apparently the Election Commission briefing said they have no verification system on that day. The only thing they are using is the number, the unique serial number. Okay, Salamantu lead a country. She got a twin sister. She leave her voting card with her twin sister to go vote for her, whether she out of the country. The card will have that number on it. The twin sister go and finish voting for Salamantu, come back, go and vote for herself too. It has a unique serial number. So how do you know that it was not Fadika twin brother? The way to them looking in the scene, you cannot tell. How do you know? So what is disturbing me is we are headed for chaos. We don't have the resources. We don't have the technical know-how. We don't have the technical expertise. We don't have the logistical ability to do a biometric voter registration. We are headed for chaos unless somebody can explain to me how that is possible.
Thank you, Leo. You raised some just provoking thoughts again for me. But let's go to Mr. Fagon, Honorable Fagon, and here your 2 minutes. I want to turn to welcome our viewers because they're an important part of the show. So I'm going to let you tell me your 2 minutes, and then we'll welcome them. It's good that all of us are here to do that today, not just me. Okay, so go ahead, Mr. Fagon.
I did my best to run away
from
all your family then.
Yes, yeah. We'll begin. You're the one who started welcoming process.
Let me say good afternoon to everybody and welcome all of Dr. Francine family there. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You know, you see me laughing, you know why I'm laughing for. My son had him going to the hospital for the point to help me because since I've been laughing since around 11 o'clock this morning.
Listen,
I can't stop.
After you are talking something serious, my empathy
that's
mode,
something serious I can't tell you like brain post. So
that's evoked, my therapeutic mode just came on.
Look, my dear sister, I've been looking at all kind of data today, including that from the Swedish ambassador who was very clear about the birth rate. You see Salamatu shaking her head. Declining by 40% in the southeast.
Yeah.
Then the Liberian Demographic Health Survey conducted, it's done every 5 years. They gave it to Legis. Legis know about that. Then the family planning team now, that the one I got my side heading. The people that took the most family planning tablet, you can call it contraceptive.
Yeah.
My sister, they didn't want to produce the most babies.
Are you serious?
No.
Well, the British government was just saying that they thought they were doing well with contraception, everything. In I think that was Reggie Sano.
I just put a small sample in the chat room. If I put a counter on a sample, you will laugh until I don't know how you. The people that took the most contraceptive and then produce not even the most babies, the whole population for the country.
According to the census, it's not working.
Yeah, but you see, That's what made me. That's exactly what, and that's my 2 minutes opening I'm giving you like this. Things are like falling apart for the census. I saw a release from the CPP too on the census, but for me, and that's why I tell my best friend Salimatu, tell your people to hire political consultants. You cannot condemn or go against that which is not real in politics. They just release a preliminary result. Their own results will have to be validated by them holistically before you can say you vest with it. Secondly, if even they go to court now, they will say, look, man, we just released the preliminary results and we got sued. We're not done yet. Now, we all were waiting for it. So the CPP stuff, they have to understand that this thing, when validated and completed, goes to the legislature for real validation by law. And that one hasn't happened yet. But look at the kind of thing that made my side heading today. You give people medicine so they can born children. The children who are born in a place, their birth rate reduced by 40%. That's what Salimatu laughing for.
Wow.
So if they reduce by 40%, how legislators managed to bring men in to come make people born? Children quick. Now I know where legislators was spending the money. That was in the Southeast.
That's immaculate conception going on over there. That's the only thing I can say. So that's the only thing.
Let me tell you something. Jesus ain't got nothing on the people in the Southeast again. Never thought that she alone got to. I don't think that she.
That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, I want to tell you guys that I'm in conversation with Elisha Stoll from the CPP and Martin Kohler, since they are the one who were involved in filing this petition to the Supreme Court. They are I invited them to come tomorrow, so I'm waiting to get some final commitment, final approval from also our CEO for them to come over. So, audience, just hang tight. We will discuss it briefly, but we will wait for them to share their thoughts about it. But again, Mr. Falcon, you want to start introducing people? Wherever you start, it matter. You can do 5 of them at least. Salimatu do 5, Leo do 5, and I do 5.
But let Salimatu start because she know her family them by heart. What I guess she always.
You know that Miss Bonner, her cousin.
Yeah, her Miss Bonner. The day I see Miss Bonner, her whole tight.
Yeah. Oh. You can put me in trouble.
Look, let me tell you something. The way to be best friend with somebody is to be best friend with a best friend.
No, my cousin Tina Bonner. She's
yes. Tina Bonner.
And when I finish and her mom, Talita Bonner. But Talita is a big fan of this show. So when I she really loves this show. So let me
actually sorry about time. Now you go cutting off. She actually called me a few times and wanted to express her opinions about things going on.
Oh yeah.
Which was very welcoming, very welcoming. So I hope she's doing well today.
Yeah. And also I want to say hi to Arabella Greaves, Mrs. Arabella Greaves. She is a fan of the show. I get to meet you one day, Mrs. Greaves. So got some people who are watching and really, they enjoy the dynamics. So I would just start from somewhere I was trying to.
Anywhere.
Yeah, okay. So David Witherspoon, that former CEO of Family, he on. Joel Dennis, Soki Gustavo Bouye. Hello. Oh Lord, he was talking about me and Mr. Falcon again. KW Cole, hello. Willie Stanley Livingstone, Honorable Peter C. Dogbo Jr., hello. Tapos Dempster, hi. Byron Brown, Prince Jimmy, November King, hey. George B. Flomo, hello. Senators Buddy, Charles J.S. Young, Zeus Carter Jr., Mohammed Sharif, Kelly Fala Kroman, hello. He's watching from Johnsonville, District Number 2. Evelyn Ta, Baker Rancy Subayi Kali.
Mhm.
So I talk about the online voters registration. My brother. Du Saleh, hello. Dukle Kamara. Boyka PM Tamundo. Stephen Kaifa Sr. Adolphus Williams. I don't know if I called that name before. Honorable George Watkins Jr. Momo Carter, Frederick Horace, Eric McGill, Royal Prince Moore, Sarah Jale. I wanted to see more women named, man.
Exactly. They're coming.
Where the women?
The women should come and talk and also call in today. I'll let Leo, do you want to take on some, help us out here? And then we'll go to Mr. Falcon. This is a team effort today. You guys got a whole welcoming committee to Spoon today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Shout out to, starting with my own people watching from Canada, Sampi Pro watching in from Toronto. Welcome, Sampi Pro. Ambassador Andrew Y. Newon is also watching. Welcome. Henceforth Joseph is watching. Excellency Alfred William Cully is also watching from Rwanda, Kigali. We got Liberia first. We got Steve Wamplo watching from Edmonton, Canada as well. Francis Ziawu. We got Agatha Zakpa, Clarence Budbo, Marian Wia, Orozco Flan Neon watching from Florida. We also got Willis Stanley Livingstone. We got Prince Vojolo. We have Odell Johnson, F. Randolph Samukai, Eric Detor watching from Gigadu, Guinea, Edward Kessely from Upper Chester, Pennsylvania, Philip Morris, welcome, Richard Sherman from Sackley, PA, Nimba County. We got Emmanuel G.K. Sifa Sr. watching from Upper Darby, Pennsylvania, Kenyatta Wia watching from King County, Victoria Blamo Cooper from White Plain, Indiana, Icholo Nima from Rhode Island, Pierre Campbell, welcome, Lockett James watching from Point Fort Junction, Miata Shalif is watching us as well, welcome, Cozy Johns is watching us from Australia, David Witherspoon here again, Irma V. Ketter, Lorena Dwe, welcome, Theophilus Kazina, Anthony Gray from Minnesota, Burnsville, and
Thank you.
And welcome everybody. A lot of people watching from everywhere.
Yes, Honorable Falcon, anyone that you like to add that welcome? You muted.
I would like to welcome the people from Lofa, Bapolu, Cape Mount, and Bombing. All the citizens in Bong, Monserrato, and Magibi. And I'll move on to Bassa, River Cess, and Sino to welcome all the people there. And I'll go up to Nimba, come back down into Grand Jita, move through Sino River G and Maryland County. Then I will end up in Grand Crew to say welcome to all of our people around the country.
Thank you. Thank you. Remy Gray, anyone you'd like to welcome in particularly? You muted, Mr. Gray. Colonel Gray. We can't hear you, Colonel. So as you get your machine all set up, I'm just gonna work on Charlene Lib Minna, McGrady Bargon from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm also going to welcome Dukli Kamara from the beautiful Maryland, Miriam Wia from Pennsylvania, Delaware, Shoki Gustavo Boa from China. We're in China, and like Spoon is in China. Emmanuel Taliwan, he say, Bagon, hello. Sarah Jackson, there's a woman there. Fanny Dennis would like to welcome you. She's watching from Minnesota. Eleanor Davis, thank you. I'm really happy that a lot of women are here. Kenyatta Wia is from King County. Thank you so much, Kenyatta. How are you doing over there, Colonel Gray? Okay. All right. Well, we want to welcome all of you to Spoon, another spirited edition. This is your channel, your station, no matter where you are, whether you're in Liberia, whether you're in the diaspora. This is where you come to get the information, and we will definitely.
I left one person off.
Who's that?
I'd like to welcome Stanton A. Witherspoon. He's watching from Burlington, New Jersey.
Oh, yes. Welcome, Stanton, the owner of this platform. Okay. And your family as well.
No, I just not me a long time. Man, I put it up green right again, get somebody something.
So today, panelists, a lot of things. Connor Gray, are you good? Can we hear you now? Do you want to test? No. Okay. So today, a lot of things obviously happened in Monrovia, and we're going to start off by Leo had kind of sort of asked a fundamental question here tonight. Why is it that we are having all of these conversations about elections? How is it going to be paid for? Biometrics are being introduced. Redistricting. People are concerned about the redistricting based on population. There's all these conversations that we are having now, and elections are supposed to be held October 10th. Leo Johnson said we do this every 6 years. Why are we reacting now as opposed to have been, again, my good 2 words, proactive? Salamatu, what are your thoughts? What's going on with us? What's wrong with us?
Well, I mean, preparation apparently is not our era. That's number one. We don't like to prepare. We're not familiar with the term being proactive. And when you start to do all of that, then, people start to question if in fact that your intentions, does it mean that you are creating a scenario for chaos? You are creating a scenario where the election will end up being fraudulent? Are you creating the scenario where there will be a lot of violence? And, we will continue to see this because we don't prepare. As Leo said, this is not a surprise. This is not a, somebody dying. We having some kind of pop-up election. This is something we've known before the last election, before 2017. We know that we have elections during this time. And to see, yet again, the government, I was reading an article where the Election Commission saying that they were supposed to get, I think they actually wrote for 90 million and they got cut down to 60 million for polling for the election. And then it got cut down to 33 million. So it got cut it down by half, but she's only gotten 4 million out of the 33 million. And she wrote the Minister of Finance, just asking for the money. Here we are, it's March. Before you know it, it will be October. There's a lot of activities that happen leading up to October. So it's not like, they got to get the money for October. They have to have the money now because there's many other activities that happen. There are many things that happen across the country. We're going into rainy season. So even if you have planned for maybe 2 days to get to a certain county, because of the weather, because of the road condition, we know that it may, there may be a delay by a day or two. So all of these you have to factor in. And we're not seeing it, but we shouldn't be surprised because we've seen the ball get dropped on so many other important things like the census report. The census, you remember the last the referendum that happened? There should have been like a period of education that wasn't done. So that entire thing just failed. We don't prepare. And we don't prepare, it seems as if because we have bad intentions of what, the outcome we want the outcome to be.
I think you're onto something, Salamatu. Imagine for many of us who go and purchase life insurance. So a lot of people say, oh, you come and die. So that's why you're preparing to get life insurance, you know. So that's that kind of mindset. So I can see what you're thinking, or why are you playing it? Are you trying to kill somebody? You know, so that kind of mindset. But this is so huge. I mean, we're talking about democracy here. You know, a lot of people every day on this show, they talk about, oh, the numbers, we got to have the numbers. But the agency that is supposed to give us adequate numbers is not being taken care of. I want to read, I'm going to go on to Leo, you're next. And you actually started this conversation saying how, you know, NEC just sits after the election. I want to also ask you to integrate what should they be doing after elections to prove. Well, I won't answer this, but I'm going to read this comment so that people can know. This is an article from Independent Probe, and it says, and so appearing before plenary of the Senate, the Board of Commissioners at the national election on Thursday, March 16, 2023, disclosed that the NEC has not, I repeat, has not received a cent from Finance Minister Samuel Tweed to start the voters registration exercise, which is expected to start on Monday, March 20th, 2023. So this article is saying that this woman is saying she didn't receive a penny. So Leo, what is wrong? What is wrong with us? I want you to continue this conversation about we don't have any money for starting our elections.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier on, Dr. Francina, first of all, an election commission, the most basic period for an election commission is supposed to be right after the other election, because that's when you pick up all the pieces. That's when you do all the reviews, what went well, what did not go well. And based on that, that's when you draw up your next plan for the next 5 years or for the next 6 years. And that plan, we include figuring out where all your voter centers and data centers are supposed to be located. You don't wait for when they announce the election opening before you start planting those, because the intelligence and data collection you're supposed to do, especially in a rough terrain like Liberia, where they're not a country where you can just get in the car today, you go look for and come back, or the same day. In places where there are no electricity, you can't even get access to electricity to actually begin with. So, in my opinion, it's a colossal failure on all sides, the judicial system, the executive, and the legislature, all sides, because they all have a role to play. This is the one thing, first of all, that determines that we are a democracy. So we can safely say that we are not a democracy, because democracy is not just about on voting day, it's about the government making sure that all of the things that need to be in place to empower citizens to equitably participate in the process are in place. Can we say that? No, it's not in place. The last election, during a by-election that were held, people were telling me how they have voting booths and they were 1 hour walk away from some villages. Who can want to walk for 1 hour to go vote somewhere and actually come back? For what reason? So you disempowered your own people. But here is the one thing we should all be afraid of. If nobody is alarmed that the election commission is saying they don't even have 50% of the budget yet to run the election, it's late. It's too late. So how can you assure anybody that nobody with plenty of money cannot pay the data manager and manipulate the results of the election when you have no security? Because I mean, you have plenty of people not taking pay in the field. If the election commission does not have the money to run the elections, that means you leave all of the electoral workers open to huge vulnerability that they can be manipulated by anybody, because in Liberia, people are working to eat. The next thing I will say, yesterday or day before yesterday, I listened to the Election Commission presentation before the House of Representatives. And I was shocked when the guy could not answer when he was asked how many biometrics equipment or machines have been brought into the country, because he said it takes on average 5 minutes for one of these machines to produce to finish the voter registration process, from its inception to its end, on average 5 minutes. So the question is, even if you had, I don't know, 1,000 or whatever of those machines, the time you get between now and the time of the voter registration period, it's impossible that you can get 3 million people voter registration data produced. So the guy said clearly he does not know, he can speak to how many machines, biometric machines are even in the country. This is 6 months to the election. So for me, I speak to all Liberians and say, we should be scared, because we're going to rush through a process that clearly will be manipulated in all sorts of ways to make it look like something is happening. And I hate to say it, I don't like pleading to the international community or whatever that is, but unfortunately, we are a quasi-democracy. We are not one right now. So we need to start behaving like we are under colonial rule and run back to our masters to beg them to see what they can do for us.
Wow, that is straight talk. Straight talk, Leo. Straight talk. Mr. Fagod, what are you thinking? I mean, is this incompetency? Is this intentional? What's going on in our country?
Well, I think it's intentional. And I think the CDC government is responsible. And I say it's intentional because of the following reasons. One, Leo just said that the Election Commission should have been in preparation for this event coming up. For the past 6 years, who's been in control? President Weah and his CDC.
Oh, please mute yourself. There's a noise coming on. Sound.
So that's the first thing. The second thing, now that we know that the $10 million, which is, I think, 25% or so, or 30% in my view, of the money should have been in the account on the 15th. It did not go there. She appeared on the 16th. And up to the time she appeared, the money was not in the account. Up to today, the money is still not in the account. Who's responsible to put the money there? The executive branch of government under President Weah. So we see the failure with respect to the executive branch under President Weah. Where is the second failure? He should have conducted a census. He did not do it until now. And when he decided to do so, the census became a what? Flop. So again, the census, according to law, Article 80, D, and E, I can always get in reference, which tells you what we're supposed to do with the census cannot be done simply, again, because the executive, for example, I'll just do E quickly. Immediately following a national census, Article 80E, and before the next election, the Election Commission shall reapportion the constituency in accordance with the new population figures, so that every constituency shall have as close to the same population as possible, provided, however, that the constituency must be solely within a county. Up to now, we don't know the constituency.
Correct.
We're still dealing with preliminary stuff. It has not been validated. We have not created the constituency. And guess what they're doing? We receive reports that in the absence of that, they are now apportioning constituency wrongfully. So that's the second point. The third point, the population that we're supposed to use for our election is fraudulent in all ways, shapes, and forms. And that's why I joke about the Southeast. So again, clearly you can see that it is intentional. It was done with the intent to rig the elections as it was in 2017. What supports my claim that the election was rigged in 2017 is the hardcore evidence that we've been able to provide concerning Russian interference in our elections and the money they spent. So if you say, oh, the number was different, no. The United States was against Russian interference in their elections. So why should we accept it? Once they interfere with our elections, they spend money wrongfully, the election was fraudulent. And once it was fraudulent, it was rigged. So it's intentional for me. And I hope the international community takes note that it's unacceptable and will not accept it.
Yes. So it sounds we are close to being in a crisis. This is kind of, what I'm thinking. And I'm not trying to be an alarmist or anything like that, but we have October 10th, and here we are talking about redistricting. That's what you're talking about. You are saying that if people or I'm not putting words in your mouth, but what I'm hearing you say is that if a district grew in the population, then they're supposed to at least be fairly represented,
Of course.
and then they're supposed to be have their own centers and register too as well, so that people wouldn't be walking for hours to go to a voting registration center. That you have fair representation. So I'm not sure. I'm getting concerned, very concerned about what's going on in our country. So I'm going to move over to Mr. Remy Gray. Mr. Remy Gray, I'm going to read what Commissioner Tapla Reeves said. He said, after the government of Liberia settled on providing US $33 million, that's how much they said they were going to provide for the conduct of the October 2023 presidential and legislative elections. Finance and Development Planning Minister Samuel Twe and the NEC Board of Commissions had a meeting wherein he promised that the government would pay their US $33 million in three phases of US 10 million, US 10 million, and US 13 million respectively. They are saying that they only have received a very minimal amount, 4 million, and they were promised 13 million. So we hear that more than $150 million in the budget for the presidential projects, touring. We have $150 million for a president, to do his touring, his different projects that he has. This was at least in the last budget, and even in this budget, they have it there. Okay, that was just passed. But yet and still, we don't have money to run something crucial to our democracy. I'm just wondering, what are you thinking, Remy Gray, Colonel Gray? We can't hear you.
Check your volume. Check your mic. If those two things are correct, then go back out and come back in. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, before you erase that thought, let me say this to you.
Yes, please add. Yeah.
It's exactly part of the reason why people are targeting Spoon Network. Let me be clear with you. Because we bring the debate, we don't manufacture the debate.
No, this is in the...
Because if you were to go in the past budget or the current one, you will see how much money is allotted to one individual to use at his discretion.
Correct.
But the entire nation is in need of 1/3 of, not even 1/3, less than 1/3.
Yes, she said
of that amount.
33 million.
To use to determine the destiny of their country, and they cannot even get it. And this is the kind of debate we bring to the table. We see the Swedish ambassador comes out and bragging, let's say, I put it in the chat room, bragging, let's say, teenage pregnancy have reduced by 40% in the Southeast. However, the same Swedish or American or British ambassador, and I say may because I don't think they would do so, but may not want us to question how in the world the Demographic Health Survey produce the least childbearing counties, but legis put them out as the most childbearing country. It's as if sometimes I sit down and say, we went to school in America, Great Britain, Canada, like Leo. And the people who who educated us, apparently they don't want us to be educated. So the issue you raise, 150 million, compared to us needing 33 for our whole country. But compare that amount with the speaker budget.
Correct.
The pro tem budget, the vice president budget, and the first lady budget. Five persons budget is accounting for almost 30% of our national budget. And when we go to talk about it, the people who educated us that this is not supposed to be, they somehow frown on us. How can 5 people budget be more than 15 counties or the total of 5 million people? How does it correlate? Is there any parallel between the two? It doesn't make sense, Madam Moderator.
Yes, you make a point, Mr. Fakon. And I think all well-meaning Liberians should be asking that question. You know, how is it that certain persons in power, you know, like our pro-tem, our president, including our first lady, has money allotted to her in the budget that could exceed, if you add all of their allotment, will exceed what is the commissioner asking for to maintain our democracy, I like to say. Yeah. So you raise an excellent point there. And this is what we bring. You know, I wanted to just add that while it is true, nobody wants to be an alarmist here on any of the talk shows. Nobody wants to sit in the diaspora and just, you know, alarm Liberians in Liberia, because we have family members there. I mean, anytime anything happened to Liberia, we all worried here. We make remittances quite often to Liberia. But on the other hand, Liberia is the culture where information is not fluent to our people, it's not accessible. So our contribution here is to bring the information, and all of the information come from the news and what is happening in the government. And so I just want Liberians to just know that we don't just come here and just talk. These are news information that Liberians should know that is unavailable. Imagine how much time it took us to even get the true story of what the ambassador was saying. I know I was sitting here for that story when you guys discussed it, but I'm just briefly saying it took us almost 2 days to go on the website to verify that story, whereby people in Liberia and around the world were giving different stories. We intentionally made a decision on this platform to wait until we get the real story. I think you guys all can agree that we said, well, we're trying to contact people to tell us the real story. And that's what we try to do on this platform, is to tell the stories as it come. Senator Mata, I want to go to you. You know, you talk about us being ill-prepared. Preparation is not our thing. But you know, when I think about this government in power, I think about they ran on the mandate of change. You know, I was hopeful, like you said, I'm sure you were very hopeful when it came into power, that we're going to see a change in this mindset of waiting until the last minute to do things, especially something as important as upholding our democracy. We talk about these numbers all the time. Oh, democracy is about numbers. But the very institution that is supposed to produce these numbers to make us feel safe in our mindset and the way that we think of democracy, they're not getting support. What happened to the money? Where is the money? That's why they would say,
thank you.
Where is the money?
Yeah. You know what?
Salimati, let me get you one gossip. Yeah, maybe you can put it in your stuff. Do you know that government owed the employees them for 2 months now?
Where is the money?
I just tell you that they gossip.
Not surprised. Not surprised at all. But I would say this, Dr. Richardson, that was my question. That was my question. Where is the money? Why haven't the Minister of Finance? What's the holdup? Do we need to say the legislature need to call him in to ask him, you know, where's the money? What is he saying? We know he's very active on social media. It would be nice for him to let us know where the money is. You know, when we set a budget, we set a national budget for everything. And as much as I disagree with the amount that is given to like the First Lady, the way the money is distributed, I should say, as much as I disagree, you know, I don't agree with the amount that's been given to certain people. Nevertheless, it passed. Everybody agreed that what will go to whatever, that is money. What is the Minister of Finance saying as to the reason why he has not yet given this one, you know, this agency the money? That's the question we need to ask. I mean, it would be very immature of us. I mean, as much as we're passionate about saying, you know what, George, you know, the president has too much money, the first lady has too much money. At this point, the budget has passed, and that's what's allocated to them. I think those are fight we need to take before the budget pass. When the money, you know, the money is being allocated. But what we need to find out is why is it that, you know, what's the holdup? And we've seen, you know, time over time that they will hold the money from these different agencies or people that will hold the money until somebody actually called into the legislature and start asking them the hard question. So perhaps maybe our other branch of government can maybe do a little bit of work. Call the guy in and ask him, because it is a threat on our democracy. And that whole change for hope, well, we still changing for hope. Was it hope for change? No, change for hope. It was yeah, it was hope for change. So yeah, we're still.
I will not say anything because I know that me targeting. I get nothing to say.
Yeah, no, yeah. So
I've never believed.
I've never believed.
Where was he?
I never believed they honestly believe in change. I think most of us we were hopeful, just because, you know, we love Liberia, we want to see it better, and you just that small part of you that's thinking, okay, just maybe, you know, this guy will get in there, he will do something different. You know, unfortunately, what we've seen is just the complete opposite. So.
Yeah, and the thing
let me, Madam Moderator, let me say she said they need to call them to ask for the money. But let me provide you an information that I'm sure most of you are aware of now. We have a short flow of US dollar in the country. Let me be frank with you guys. And as a former insider, I'm still an insider. I'm challenging TWE.
Sure.
So let me give you some proofs. The East Company, as well as Chico, you saw the problem they were in with the government.
Yes.
The government could not give them US dollar because the government itself did not have it. Now, the second thing here is Bomi County, 5 million, Bomi, Bapolu, and Cape Mount. They could not pay them US dollars. They had to pay them LD. Nimba, they could not pay them US dollars. They had to pay them LD. All the other companies, they've made that policy clear with them. Now, in the case of NEC, you have to give them US dollars. And 10 million is not a small amount to put together. That's part of the reason why government employees that take pay, half US, half LD, up to now, have not gotten their pay. And once it's after the 15th, you now owe them 2 months. So I'm not sure TWE can gather 10 million and just put it in their account right now. It's going to be tough.
So this leads me, and we're going to come to you, Leo, to you know, opine on this. This leads me to, you know, why we have to do all that small yo. We did yo for the 5 million. Prince Johnson I own yo for his own money for Nima Kante, because, you know, now we need Nima Kante vote, so we you know, we're reacting to that. Now we got to do the whole yo for election. I mean, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. But meanwhile, we are able to find the money for our president to travel to UAE and come to the United States. I think even though people say, "Oh, that small money," it won't amount to the big money that we need. But every little bit, to me, every drop in the budget helps. So where is this money? And if, Leo, I'm asking you, if we are having problems, if they cannot get this money because maybe there was some shortfall in our revenue or in something, do you think it is an obligation of TWE, the finance minister, to come and speak to the Liberian people, and then the president should emphasize what is going on in our country here? Because this is a great matter.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think the first problem is we are all guessing whose fault is it. We are all guessing what the problem is. We haven't even established the problem yet. We're just poking around at this point, trying to figure out what the problem is. And
you figure out. I'm not guessing. I'm telling you what the problem is.
If I say we are all guessing, I have no document. So let me put it this way. At I haven't seen any report from NEC that tells me, say, here is a report of what we've done. NEC comes to the Liberian Senate and talk everything in your mouth. We will not receive 1 million. We will not do that. We will not do that. Where is the comprehensive? But for me, I'm solution oriented. I'm not here to be worried about this person take that blame. What needs to be done now is what I want to talk about. The Senate needs to request NEC to provide a comprehensive report up to this point.
Okay.
What has been accomplished? What has been completed? What monies have been given to NEC for what reason? I think that will give us a clearer picture. Is it a Ministry of Finance that has failed to provide the money allocated to NEC? Because then that is against the law. Because if the law says there is a certain money in the budget that NEC is supposed to receive at a certain time and don't have it, but look at the Election Commission when it comes to the Senate, everybody talking, oh, we started preparation, the preparation ongoing. Oh, we received the other mobilization ongoing. Where is that comprehensive report to say, NEC, based on your own timeline that you've released, that the public now has, we need a comprehensive report up to this point. What has been completed? Have we completed 20% of the electoral preparation, or 10% or 30%? And if that report comes, we wouldn't need to be guessing. We'll be calling out where the problem is. But for now, we are all poking around.
No, but I think the problem the woman is saying, they have not done XYZ because they don't have money.
So,
she's saying that they got some money.
Let her bring that report. Why is she telling her in her mouth? We want to see the report to say we've completed 0% of the electoral preparation because no money has been allocated on the record.
But what kind of report the woman will give if she said, I'm not doing anything?
And the people say biometric machine arriving in the country. And the people say biometric machine arriving in the country, they not pay for SYZ. You never heard the NEC briefing to the House of Representatives 2 days ago? They say all these things in their mouth. We get a report for
you. Can I come in? Can I
sure,
come in?
I won't come in.
I would like for Leo to speak for himself. Let me speak for myself. I am aware, and I know for a fact, having served in government, you do not request 33 million without itemizing your budget as to what it's meant for or will be used for.
Okay.
Money is not awarded to you by your mouth. You carry a document and it is approved. Once it is approved, they begin to they will do an appropriation first.
Okay.
When the budget passes, that money for you. Then they do an allotment. Then that allotment now is what you use and start getting your stuff. So I am not guessing. 33 million was supposed to go to NEC. Till this date, approved by the legislature, Samuel Tuer promised the legislature, the partners, and NEC, I need 3 people, that by March 15, midnight, this money will be in the account. On March 16, the money was still not there. But the business day, after the holiday, was not completed. So again, no one comes and say, you have printed 3 million with a mark, and the legislature approve it. Or the finance ministry agree. No, it was budgeted. We had 6 years to do this. Everything was on course until government decided that they would play the henge-penge game.
Okay.
And I know for a fact that this government is heavily reliant upon the pledge from Joe Biden of the $60 million for the countries for which Liberia is supposed to get around, as mentioned by the president, $20 million.
Okay, so
I can safely say here that I'm not guessing that this is the problem. I am telling you that the problem is the budget is a law. The budget was passed. The appropriation was made. The budget was passed. The allotment approved.
Okay,
but the money has not been paid.
I will just quickly correct something Dr. Richardson. I'm not talking about a budget that was approved. Everybody knows budget was approved. I'm saying if you approve a budget, Dr. Francine, and you are giving a budget with a list or with a job description, clearly what you're supposed to do with timelines on it, that doesn't mean it is done. That doesn't mean you completed anything, or that doesn't mean you didn't complete. It is the report that shows us.
How can you get report?
How can you get report when you don't have
Let me finish.
the money?
Wait,
Can I
what
finish?
report you want? We are pushing hard.
Can I actually finish?
What
Can I
report
actually
do you
finish?
want?
So if I give a budget to somebody that says from December to January, you are supposed to register 500 people. From January to March, you are supposed to do X, Y, Z.
Yes, sir.
You're not supposed to come stay in front of me that this is a government operation. I'm supposed to see a report for the Liberian people.
But did you get the money? That's what we're asking you.
The woman is saying the activity cannot happen without the money.
You're not saying hearing me. Who
And
told you said that?
you talk?
Can let me finish.
Let me
finish.
Just
because
Okay,
when you were talking, I gave you chance.
finish in 1 second.
I gave you chance. Can we just have some respect for decorum here? Let's just have some respect for decorum. Let me finish.
Okay, you got
agree with you.
Let me just have some respect for. Okay, let me wait.
Why you want
Mr. Fago, plead with you, Mr. Matthew. Plead with small. I beg you. Do you please finish? In
So
1 second.
So I will say this again. They voodoo monopoly over information that certain people think because they get insider access that under they're supposed to know information. In a democratic republic, the citizens of the country are entitled. Nobody should be privileged to have public information because they are connected as an insider, number one. Number two, if no money has been given to NEC and NEC has not completed anything, NEC submit a report, say we have completed zero about the elections, rather than coming to stand for hearing and telling us, say you brought in biometric machine, you brought in this. If nothing has been done by NEC, where NEC getting the money from to be buying biometric machine according to their 2 days ago statement to the House of Representatives? Where are they getting money from to be deploying things in a few? Where are they getting money from to say they are ready to start voter registration? So somebody is making fool of us. The government is saying, we're saying on one hand, no money has been given to NEC. But NEC is saying on one hand, we are prepared to roll out a voter registration process. So how is that possible?
The lady said that they received $4 million.
Where is the report for the $4 million spend?
I think the question is, what difference does it make right now? The bigger question is, we need money for the elections and the census to be validated. We need that. Okay? And at this point, we don't have the money.
So, Dr. Francine, my question is,
yes.
$4 million was given, so the lady said.
Yes.
No. Yeah, let me say this, Leo.
Go ahead, Salamanca.
Yeah. Whatever report you're looking at for the 4 million
progress report.
Whatever report that you are saying that she should have for whatever activities that was done for that 4 million, that's not the legislature fault, because she has the information. Mm-hmm. That wasn't their issue.
So where is it?
Issue that's not an issue. Maybe you personally don't have access to it.
Do you have it?
Whatever. Maybe we need to ask the legislature.
That's about to talk, Leo, please.
What information did she provide to you guys to show that she has spent the 4 million? That's number one. Number two, you have to understand there was an issue with the machines, right? The company that was doing it before, a lot of the partners said no because they were funding that machine. And I can guarantee you, there ain't no way America ain't got a report on what this woman has done with that money. What the problem is today is she is saying we still have like 80% or 90% of the work to do. We got like 90% of the work to do. I cannot do it until you give me the money. So the legislature isn't saying, oh, we gave you 4 million and you didn't do anything with it, or we need report. That's not what they're saying. They just want to know why Samuel Twe has not given you the money. So that's where we are. So I understand when you say.
So let me ask something.
No.
But I didn't finish, Dr. Francine. You got people cutting me off. Salamanca cut me off. She is a woman, so I allow her the opportunity to talk. She cut me off.
Leo.
You know how many times I've been interrupted on this call? You don't want me to. I can get leave so we can continue the conversation.
No, we need to we don't have any problem yet. That's still right here.
No, I'm just saying because I get interrupted and then you come in and say,
no. I did tell them. I'm telling them, say, listen, let Leo speak. I even told them to be quiet for a whole second and let you speak. okay, and then went to Salematu. So that's Mr. Fagon. It's your turn. You got 2 minutes.
Thank you. First of
And then we'll
all,
go back to Leo.
I don't know where Leo took his 4 million for and what period that this 4 million was given. Okay? And let me let Leo know, throughout the 6 years that we serve, or our country has been running under the CDC government, we have had the special election, the by-elections, and the midterm elections. Sometimes you talk about information, we are the bastion and custodian of information. So during the space of those 3 elections, you may not have known about them. These people were still spending money. We had a situation with this biometric machine issue, and there was a pushback against it. Now, I repeat, and I say to you again, nobody goes with their mouth and say, I want 33 million, and they just put it in the hand. No, it's a budget. It's appropriated, and when it becomes law, it's supposed to be used for the purpose intended. Now, we have an election coming up. If your point is you need a report for the $4 million for biometric machine, then you need to come and tell us where you took your 4 million from, who gave it to NEC, when was it given, and for what purpose was the 4 million given. Then you can ask for that report. What we are discussing here right now is that monies was appropriated, approved for NEC. Till this date, we are going to our elections. We asked your finance minister, where is the money? We asked this woman, why are you taking so long to do your job? And this lady said, I have not gotten, I'm quoting her, a dime to do my job. The next question here for the legislature is, why? She said they went to the meeting. Again, I'm paraphrasing what she said, with the partners to assure them that by March 15th, the money will be in the account.
Yeah.
Now, our debate here today is, up to now, 1 cent has not been given. So if it's trying to tell you that he wants report first, he should tell the Liberian people, you are in no position to demand a report for monies you have not given, and the government cannot tell us that they gave the money. Spoon is open. Can you get the number so the government can call?
Sure, definitely. I would like to welcome.
Because we are discussing
we're going to go
what
to
we put in the budget for elections.
Yes.
Not what somebody is communicating.
Yes, at 5:30, we're going to go to the phone lines, and I will welcome the government, anyone from the Ministry of Finance or anyone from the government to call and make clarity on this issue for us. We're trying to speak for the Liberian people. We're asking some relevant questions here. I want to go to Leo. Leo, I want to give you another minute to discuss your thoughts.
All I done that too, Dr. Regency. You give me 2 seconds. I will tell you one. I will tell you one.
Use a time, Salematu use her time, I use my own.
Okay, go ahead.
I say you want
I got that 2 minutes you just spoke for so.
You taking
So let me go, Dr. Richardson.
Yes.
We can say we want change Liberia, then people here telling us, what can I report? The woman I get the money, how the woman will marry. I'm not talking about budget. Budget allocation has been passed. Budget has been approved. And there were things submitted to show why budget should be out. As a manager, as someone who manages 22 people, when someone brings a budget to me, like in government, you bring your budget, the government sees your line item, whatever you are looking for, a budget has been passed and allocated. When that budget has been allocated, I don't sit there and say, oh, I realize that the financial controller only gave you 10% of the budget that they're supposed to give you, so you now owe me report. As the manager responsible for execution, you owe me a Liberian people. We are paying you that budget from our money. If I'm gonna say they don't owe a report or we don't have the right. No, we demand one. The whole attitude that we run the Liberian government in our mouth, then when the budget year come to end, all of us be asking questions and nobody know how.
But we ask you who get a woman.
You stop the disrespect, man. I can stop the disrespect, man. You don't have to show peacefully. Thank you. So the whole attitude that we wait to the end of the year, then we'll be asking questions about things with no paper trail. Nobody. I'm saying the election commissioner should come to the Senate. You've been called to the Senate. Tell us, Mr. Senators, here is a full report. We were supposed to do this for 1 year. We're supposed to receive this amount of million. Of that million, we've only received 1% of it. As a result of that, we've only been able to do 0.5% of everything that's required for the election. And as such, we are unable to do anything at this point. Submit that report. That is rating document. All the hearings I've heard, there's a contradiction. The election commission come to the Senate and say they don't have money. The same election commission representative go to the House of Representatives and present a whole list of things that they are saying they are prepared. The election commission told the House of Representatives 2 days ago they are prepared to go ahead with the election and they are equipped to do all the registration and complete everything on time. So where is their reliance?
Please call Good Day here. We have the videos here so the woman can speak for herself.
No, the House of Representatives video, I would like to play the one for the election commission before the House of Representatives also.
That the election commission.
That's, yeah.
But I want to the Senate, one for the woman, yeah, so you can play it for us to hear it.
You will see woman in red.
All right, let's hear her. Okay. And
no, there's another one I'm sending you with the guy reporting for the election commission registration process.
In a chat room before to James, but I just wanted, and Salamandra, I know you wanted, I don't know if you wanted to say something, and Leo, I want you to sort of marinate this a little bit in your head. So you think by her giving the report will produce the money in the right crisis?
No, I don't.
Are we talking about a different issue? We're talking about
No. I don't think it will give the money that the register. I think it will give us the reliance to know who is accountable and who's holding on this process. So that they say we're talking here. I got no paperwork. That government talking. I hear our mouth.
For 6 years, they asked them to have a budget report.
Can I say something? Yeah, because honestly, I'm so confused.
Okay, everybody, we gotta go to Mr. Greba Salamandra. I want to give you 1 minute to please talk. And
yeah, I am so confused.
Yes.
Leah, I understand the importance of providing a report.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the issue now. That it's not the issue. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. This woman is saying we need XYZ to conduct some activities. The legislature is not questioning if the 4 million that was given to her wasn't completed. They have the information. We may not have the information, but they have the information.
Can I ask you one quick question, Salamandra?
Leo.
No, Salamandra, I just want to ask you one
Let
question.
me ask the question.
My quick question is, Salamandra, do you know what the election commission has done or hasn't done up to this point based on the election schedule? Do you know that?
They bought a machine.
Where is the report for that?
Call the election commission.
I'm going to call them before they give it to me. Okay,
yeah, but where would you want to get that report?
To be published and presented.
No, but Leo, again, I agree. The whole idea of our WTO that we signed, this is the problem, that we're supposed to be transparent with every document. So you're absolutely right. It should be on the website. It should be, yeah. But we can have a whole nother show on transparency in the government agency providing everybody the information and not just people who are requesting it. We can have a whole issue. The issue right now, she is saying, we have elections in October. Money that was supposed to be allocated has not been allocated. Apparently, they went and had a meeting with all the U.S. ambassador, the ECOWAS, and everything, and Samuel Twe promised that the money was going to be allocated in 3 deposits, I think, right?
Mm-hmm, yes, 10 million.
So the reason why she's frustrated is she's saying, without this money, we cannot have elections in October. That's the alarm. The alarm is not, we gave you 4 million, we don't know what you've done with it. I understand what you're saying, that it's supposed to be published. You know, we're supposed to have the information. We're not supposed to be scattered and thinking, okay, but that's not their issue because they know what happened to the 4 million. Their concern right now, as should be all of the concern, is that we cannot have elections. And my question again will be, where is Samuel Twe and where is the money? If Samuel Twe has a problem to say, you know what, this woman has not provided me a report with the 4 million that we've given her, then we can say, okay, whether XYZ. But right now, the money in question is, we need this money in order to do a lot of activities that we should have done months ago. And we can't do it. And you're not going to blame me when y'all can't have elections. And I would say this, Leo, I talked to somebody higher up, one of the international agency that's actually helping to fund the elections. And they told me, they're like, y'all don't have money to have election this year. Y'all barely got money to run election for the next 2 election term. We don't have the money. I would need Samuel Tuer to come and tell us the promise that he made in front of the international community and told the Elections Commission that he was going to give this money. The first installment was supposed to come, I think, the 15th. It was a holiday. Today that is 17th. Where is the money?
Now I say,
Yeah.
good day to just play the team.
So you know all this information that you can share it with the public. Why you
No, but the information.
That's what we're doing now. That's what we're doing now.
I don't know why could they wait.
The last time you were
Okay, before we go, Remy Gray, please, I beg your indulgence. Mr. Gray has to come in. Can we go to the video? Is that what you guys?
the last time you were here in full, along with the chair, the commission informed this body that the government of Liberia was not forthcoming with financial support. Without with the government coming forth with the finances required and needed, we hold election October 10. And follow up to that, since you left, leaving that information with us, has there been any improvement in the government's provision of finances toward the election question?
Mr. Senator, I wanted from the letter, I wanted to tell you our preparedness, but I can tell you now that we had a meeting with the Minister of Finance, and on February 23rd, when we left here, and he broke down the payments into 3 phases. Phase 1, he said March 15, he will give us 10 million. Like I told him today, yesterday was J.J. Rao's birthday and there was no what. So today, we expect our $10 million to be in our account. At midnight, I told him today because I attended the steering committee meeting the president appointed with all of the ambassadors, ECOWAS, UN representatives, the press, and everybody, and the justice minister is the co-chair, and I made those accessions that since the 15th was J.J. Rao's birthday, the 16th we need our money in the account as a close of business. And he assured us. So we're looking forward there.
Mr. Facon, before I get to Mr. Gray, give us your comment because you're the one who suggested that we play this tape. What are your thoughts about what you just heard?
My thought is very simple. In February, you heard Delon say the full bench of the commissioners appear. What did they tell the representatives of the Liberian people? They said that the government was not forthcoming with support to the national elections. That was February 23rd. That the government had not supported them in any way, shape, or form. So, that was February 23rd. They went to a meeting, the woman just told you. And in that meeting was everybody, United Nations or whoever. There was a steering committee appointed by the president. They went to that meeting. The justice minister is co-chair. Samuel Tuer, from that meeting in February until yesterday, cannot produce even the 10 million. If you are so delayed in giving people money to conduct elections, what good will the money be if you give it to them next month or month after next? What good would it be? So the truth of the matter is, I don't see the argument here about somebody must pre-report before they get money. This money was approved. It was appropriated. Let me use the right terminology for education purposes. This money was appropriated. This money was approved. This money was sent to the legislature. This money is law. Pay this money now. You are telling us JJ Rao's story. Call any government employee. There's no US dollars in our banks. If there was, they would be paying people. But no. No. And yet the headline of the Sunday, after US $4 million check to NEC, to a yet to remit 33 million for elections. She said it. But if you know you wanted a report, don't be sending message on our platform. You should have gone to the legislature when they call you. And you should have demanded a report there. When they call the NEC people, you should have told the people in the steering committee meeting, the reason I get a woman no money is because I get what? I get a report. But get a woman the money now, you send a message to our platform. That is ludicrous. That is ballooning. And we will not accept it. So can we have elections come October? I answer your questions. I don't foresee it. Everything that Hagba, they just rushing everything. Just someone that grab pepper in Pambora with fire coal. That's what they're doing.
Hot. Yes, Colonel Gray, please come in, please.
Dr. Francine, I will encourage you to also please play the other video after Colonel
Yes, I sent it to James. He's preparing it, but let Colonel Gray come in as to prepare it. Go ahead.
You know, from what I heard so far, it seems as though we're holding on to straw to climb ourselves out of shallow water. You know, when somebody is drowning, even when the lift is passing by, you want to hold on to it. Some of this situation, sometimes it's not about report. It's about filing a grievance, which is what the NEC is doing. NEC is expressing a grievance that in lieu of a promise made, I haven't gotten this yet. Toure, on his part, is kicking the can down the road. But I don't think Toure takes decides on his own. It takes cue from the president. That's how it's supposed to be. And I think as far as Mr. Weir is concerned, this election is not important to him. You understand? I mean, why should he be? Because this could be his last days in the office. So the more he delays the process or dilly-dally the process, the better it will be for him. I don't see any reason why Toure or the president will prioritize anything to go to elections commission. We foresaw that from time immemorial that this president does not even want to even hold election, let alone fund the process. You understand? And the international community has done its best. They are some of the largest funders of our electioneering process. They have given their part. If this government has a record of going in those foreign missions account to take money out, you understand? Those were some of the money they were playing with. Now, time for them to meet their obligation. Toure is only finding an excuse. Oh, I did not receive reports, so therefore I can't release the other money. No, that was not the basis upon which the promise was made or the commitment. You understand? Forget about that. Now they're filing a grievance that we have not received what was promised us. So therefore, we are not sure whether elections will be conducted as promised or as scheduled. So that's it. That's the bottom line.
Thank you.
People just making excuses here.
Thank you. So if you're just joining us here at Spoon Talk today, we're having a very spirited and interactive conversation about where is the money for our upcoming elections. Where is the money? There's different views here tonight. One shared by Leo is asking for a report, and others here are saying our elections, our democracy is at risk of not being upheld because the National Elections Commissions cannot do their job. They have not been able to get the money yet. So I want to go back, James. If you have that tape ready for me, can you come in and give us a thumbs up? This is the tape that is actually was sent to you by Leo. He wants to make a point with that tape. We bring it all sides to you here. So until you're ready, I want to just, so according to Commissioner Reeves, Liberian people, I'm reading to you, based on Minister Twes's promise, as you heard her say, that during the meeting, US 10 million should have been remitted to the NEC on Wednesday, okay? March 15, 2023, but up to present, they have not received the money yet. And Leah, you said something very awesome when we started the conversation. You have spoken about what happens when the election commissions is complaining and saying that we don't have any money. And I think you kind of led us to believe that, you know, this puts the people who are running our elections at risk for being bribed. You know, somebody can come in and purchase the voters and the people who are supposed to check our voters. So I thought that was a very good comment that you made earlier. But yeah, the issue at hand is the election commissions do not have the money to promote our democracy, and October 10th is right around the corner. So James, are you ready? I'm going to give you a few minutes to introduce what you want us to hear. I'm just waiting for James to come. Leo, go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Richardson. So the video I'm about to play is NEC presenting to the House of Representatives their full preparedness to conduct the full voter registration exercise, the deployment of all the centers in the country, all the equipment are on hand and ready to go, and all of that. So here is my contradiction in all of this. If we have the NEC boss at the Senate saying they don't have the money required to do anything of the election, I'm asking, were you reporting all of these activities, assuring the House of Representatives at the same time, concomitant that you are ready to roll out this election? The budget that was allocated for the election then was supposed to be spent within a certain period. Clearly, it hasn't been because the money hasn't been given. Can you verify 100% that the election still costs that? It's impossible. Costs have escalated. This is why when we make allocation, people go and come and say the money was not enough. That is why a report is very important, because a report will tell you, say, 8 months ago, if you are giving the money, it would be 10 million. Anybody here who does simple economics. Now, we're 6 months away, which means NEC will have to double up all of its efforts to be able to do an election that should have been prepared for 2 or a year ago. So NEC cannot tell me that an election that would have cost 10 million 1 year ago still costs 10 million 6 months from now to the election. That is voodoo economics. It doesn't apply in any risk management setting. The first thing you will start to do now is to say, given that we failed to meet the initial timelines that were set, we need to recalibrate and know what is our cost in 6 months now, because we failed to meet the timeline set. Where is that information? We all say arguing 10 million, 10 million, 10 million. Do we know that the value of 10 million a year ago that could have conducted the election is still the same value right now? We don't know that. We're still going on a budget that was allocated how long ago? That a budget we still arguing about. So a report is very important, but I need to know where NEC getting all the money from and all the assurances of all the preparation, telling the House of Representatives that they're ready to roll out the election. Then the bosses at the Senate telling the Senate, say, they ain't got no money for the election to run. Where is the inconsistency? So please play the video so we can hear it.
Aliyah, it would be nice if you gave him a time, space, say, go to...
Yes. I already told him, I said minute number 33.
Minute number 33.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Honorable Roland. If I can answer, sir. Okay, so to your first question, every registration record that is processed, the moment you hit the print button on that BVR kit, the data is encrypted. Now, the company that has designed this software as part of the Laxton Group is called Neurotechnology, and they are regarded as #1 in data security across Europe in producing biometric solutions. We have tested the platform, and we can guarantee you that on-the-spot encryption is happening. So if that data is being transferred from the registration center to the National Elections Commission's data center, absolutely no other platform is able to interact with that data, whether by decrypting or by reading it. If you want to do a test case, even the reg.neclibrary.org that we showed you, you go right back to it, you generate that QR code, take another phone in the room that has a camera and points to it. Every data that is being sent on that platform is automatically encrypted. And security was one of the major concerns for us in the decision for the selection of who gets to do this solution for us. To your second question, sir, how many data centers are there for the NEC? There's one data center at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission in Monrovia. And for this exercise, because of the volume of data that we intend to collect, we also have a plan for a disaster recovery center. So we can guarantee you that this data and this process has been planned for adequately. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, Leo.
Thank you very much, James. So this process has been planned for and is ready to be rolled out adequately. Yeah, not English. English is my second language. When you say adequately, that means everything you need. So with the data team reporting to the House of Representatives, letting us know that there is no issues, they are ready to go on this front. So that means parts of the election preparation is on the go and going smoothly. So where is that report to show us what has been done, what hasn't been done? Where is the report to show us that the budget for the election is still $10 million that was allocated how long ago? And we're talking about today's dollars, and you're telling me $10 million, that's still the same cost? I'm sorry. It doesn't add up to me who is a manager. Risk management for things like elections is extremely important. We can do it by hearsay, who say in their mouth. We need hard evidence and data to actually prove that.
Thank you. We'll go to Mr. Fakon and then we'll go to Sarimatu.
You know, sometimes people say, Fagon, you shout. So I will take my time. And if you can't hear me, please tell me. The noise that we had on the platform was about making report to get money. We thought we would have heard something about report and $4 million. Nothing to that account. When we tell people we are in the corridors of power, we mean what we say. And we are still there. The man you heard explaining was explaining because they are the contractors. They pre-finance this thing. It's not government money. I thought I was getting Leo a clue first. He kept jumping. The company pre-finance, they brought that machine, they're doing all that thing. They will need to be paid. They're not government operation. But let me remind Leo that the data center, the data recovery center, the machines are not the people going in the field to collect the data. They are not the people printing the ballots. They are not the ones buying the cars. They're not the water, PP, they put it in the tank of the car. The food they people eating, they're not even Gary. So you come and you make all this thing look like we show our own video. Time to show your video, you show our contractor telling us, in fact, he's selling. Then my product is the best. Nobody can even go inside my product. It's encrypted. To decrypt my product, QPR, you even scan it, it can't make it. Leo, you did not discuss anything about my country. I don't want to see anything about contractor. Contractor 4 million, if we even pay it now, we pay it later. But those who will go in the field to collect the data needs to be paid. Their salaries, not salaries, their transportation, their lodging, the cars they will use, the gas they will use, the documents, the printed papers, everything you think about requires money, yeah? So, let me report I was selling the machine and tin. Let's come back to my country. My country next said that they needed this amount. The government approved it. We pass it into law. Your neck coming here in a few days because you keep looking to that left, that tweet.
But the way you say the video say the people say they can pre-finance the thing, then you telling us that the people pre-finance it.
Sarimatu has to come in here, please.
No, wait. Let me finish.
Mr. Fakon, please finish and then Sarimatu.
Yeah, because I need to tell you that one. You want to move the goalpost. I told you the 4 million that the people pre-financing their own thing, that the business. What my country, my government decided that, oh, this is what we use. I want you today to desist from the contractor. Talk about the law. The law say next you get 33 million. And NEC came and say up to today, they have not collected fasting. Let me tell you who's supposed to get report for the 4 million. And let me be very clear, every Liberian, including Dr. Francine, listen to me and listen well. The 4 million was pre-financed by the contractors. They need to go get report to the company. I can never get you report for money I didn't spend. Who built the diagnosis, the data collecting center? The NANEC, that the company. Who brought in the machines? That the company. Who did everything? That the company. Next set, they have not received fasting. We should play again. I conclude by saying, Leo, when we come here, propaganda will come in from all sides. But trust me, the facts will be laid down on the table. And the fact in this case, 33 million was appropriated, approved, passed into law. Tell 12 right now, 12. They posted the 33 million, you must tell them how much you not get neck. Didn't want to hear those part of story.
The last time you were here in Fort, along with the chair, the commission informed this body that the government of Liberia was not forthcoming with financial support. Without with the government coming forth with the finances required and needed, we will election October 10th. And follow up to that, since you left, leaving that information with us, has there been any improvement in the government's provision of finances toward the election question?
Mr. Senator, I wanted from the letter, I wanted to tell you our preparedness, but I can tell you now that we had a meeting with the Minister of Finance, and on February 23rd, when we left here, and he broke down the payments into 3 phases. Phase 1, he said March 15, he will give us 10 million. Like I told him today, yesterday was J.J. Rao's birthday and there was no work. So today, we expect our $10 million to be in our account at midnight. I told him today because I attended the steering committee meeting the president appointed with all of the ambassadors, ECOWAS, UN representatives, the press, and everybody, and the justice minister is the co-chair. And I made those accessions that since the 15th was J.J. Rao's birthday, the 16th we need our money in the account as a close of business. And he assured us. So we're looking forward to that.
Sadamatu, please.
You know, again, yeah, I honestly have been trying to understand what is Leo's point when this woman goes to the Senate and tells the Senate we cannot have elections because the money that was supposed to be allocated for elections activities have not been given to me.
Give me your time, I will explain.
Yeah, no, you're not explaining about report. And what we're trying to understand is that the legislature that called the woman in, they say, oh, you know what you not do with the 4 million? I think I was going to share an article with you that was written in February of this year regarding the $4 million. It was for the vendors. They gave it to the because they didn't even have it in February, but the vendors, including the biometrics machine people, they wanted their money. I think the contract was for about $12 million.
Yeah.
And one of the agreement was for them to try to pre-finance the stuff. So they were all the people their money. She then said
they were all the people their money. Jesus.
That good English?
Good
English.
So where you tapping all
the people their money? Yeah.
Where you get it from? I can share it with all.
Leon, a lot of these things been happening. If you keep you have to kind of.
Where is it?
I will share
The thing you don't know for you to come to the open, you say young man, but you come people.
Yes.
That's social club and society.
No, it's not a social club. The information is.
I'm gonna give Colonel Remy Gray.
No, that's how the man to finish.
Yeah, I'm finished. Yeah.
Okay,
So the money that was in February. She told them that, you know what, they were relying on the government money to pay their vendors and to carry out the activities. The activity was supposed to begin March 20th. I guess now she's panicking because whatever the 4 million was, it went to the vendors. They need the money now to carry out the activity March 20th. And they don't have the money. They called a meeting prior to this week. Called Samuel Twer. Samuel Twer told the NEC commissioners in the presence of the international partners, because I keep reminding you, our partners are contributing to these elections. They are contributing, and I can guarantee you, America ain't gonna put no money nowhere. It ain't get a report.
The same way with the census.
The what?
The same way they did the census and they still put
Yeah,
money there.
my country, yeah, now my other country don't put you more from America. America ain't had nothing to do with that. Your useless census. Yeah, but nevertheless. Yeah, they had nothing to do with that. Your useless census that you just did.
But international partner get their money.
The international partners can get their money. They want their report. You, as the citizen, you better do the job that you said you were going to do when you beg the people for their money. But nevertheless, so now the issue is the rest of the money to conduct the activities that's supposed to start in March 20th, which would be on Monday or Tuesday. It's supposed to start. Twer told the woman in the presence of the international partners, all the embassies and the ECOWAS ambassador in the UN, that he was going to give the money prior to the start of this. It hasn't happened. That's why she's raising the alarm, because the longer we wait, we will not have election. The issue is not about providing support. I understand you may want to see a document, but if you want to see document, you gotta follow the information as to what's happening. I think right now maybe you feel like you lost. There's some information you kind of lost. But have you been following this story?
It doesn't exist. There's no report.
You been following this story?
Yes, I have been.
And I hope nobody telling you that. Oh, let's tell me that's why I can't tell us he need report. That one he get it 33 million.
I'm a Liberian citizen, so I'm asking for my
Let me
right.
just give the last words to Colonel Gray, and then we're gonna ask Liberian people. Maybe they have some ideas as where's the money. Me, I want to know where is the money. Let's follow the money trade. Where the beef? Where they put it? The one who want you to be in America, she said, "Where's the beef?" Yeah,
you don't say where's the report. Y'all forget money.
Where's the report? Where's the money?
The report can show you where the money at, and not in your mouth.
The report cannot show you the money that does not exist.
Go ahead.
It is interesting. It is interesting that Leo can go and cherry pick what he wants to hear and bring to us, but the same venue where the same elections commission and the full bench appeared and made it known that even the company that was conducting, or that is responsible for the biometrics, was supposed to pre-finance the process. They didn't have the money to pre-finance it, so at that point, the process was now ongoing. It was that pressure that brought the 4 million to book. Now we saw past the biometric process because it was made available. And go back and listen to the Elections Commission appearing to the Senate. Every time they appear like this is when the fire gets behind Twer. And I can tell you, in a few days from now, that money will come out, because you don't need no report. He's just finding a way now where to put hands. That's all. But you know, the fact about this is this government does not have the discipline to stick with a specific budget. They rob Paul to pay Peter. That's how they run in the government. It's all based on the incompetence that we're talking about. When money is sitting down for this kinds of processes, you don't touch them because they belong there. But you know what? I can tell you that the president trip and all these other places, tour were looking for money to sponsor that trip. That's more important to them than this whole election. We're here hurting our head. Those people don't value this election because it's going to keep them out of power. Who wants that? And so that's the least on their priority list. Forget about report. They're just finding, it's just like you kicking the can down the road, or you hanging on something to give excuse. But this particular process called the election, I don't think two of them value this thing at all. They were talking about 33 million. They're still arguing about 10 million. Can you imagine? And nothing's going to get done. That's how the census was even held haphazardly. They failed to put that money behind the census. Those guys just went and sat in one little room and cook up numbers. And that's why they came up with. And they're going after the threshold. That's important to them because it will give them more vote. But the very report that's supposed to be ratified by law has not even been produced.
Okay.
For it.
Thank you. We're going to move on to the phone lines right now. We're going to start with Liberians in Liberia calling us, and then we're going to move on to I can't hear you.
Madam Moderator.
Yeah.
You hear your sister the way they put your side by side. You don't want to talk about your own CPP team when you care to Supreme Court.
No, yeah.
Inviting guests.
I invited the SP.
No, we invited special guests.
Yeah, and I don't want us to get into it too much because they're coming to explain it to us.
Oh,
so
yes,
I'm waiting for another commitment. We'll not forget, but I
am an insider. You outsider. I'm following the one.
Okay, yeah, so they put a press release out today, and they are asking the government to please follow Article 80, where every Liberian citizen. They took the thing I was reading.
No, just leave it. Let's go ahead.
Okay.
Let's go ahead, enter.
But the issue actually is about about redistricting. If you say a certain amount of people are supposed to be in a constituency in the country, and we have to have some kind of documentation to say these people are there.
You must have the data.
Yes.
You must write the legislature to inform them. They have not done nothing.
Yes.
So when it reaches the Supreme Court just hold Article 80 in front of them saying, you halt the process, you go back. So let's get a long team, let's have party.
Yeah. So
we're looking for salaries.
And it raises a point. A lot of times, when you have when you do a census and there's growth in the population, you have to account for that. You have to have representation. So this is all what the CPP are trying to say, and they're going to come here to tell us hopefully tomorrow. I'm just waiting for another commitment approval. So I want to hear from the Liberian people. I want the Liberian people to tell us report versus money. What is going to actually take us to good governance, take us to a democratic process, take us, to the place where we can be represented, counted. Everything we talk about number. So I hear what Leo saying. Leo made a very great argument here when he asked for a report, but I worry we'll come back for us to have that conversation another day. Okay. But on the other hand, right now I want to know where is the money? Where the people money that is supposed to be in the people bank account? They say since when March 15, almost said she was supposed to have the money. So what we dealing with here?
Our vendor that will help us pre-finance the whole election. All the other one to pay.
You joking, huh? You got joke, huh, Leo?
Don't baby tell you that the vendors then know me personally.
But wait, y'all looking for money for election? What about the employees? Minister,
I know that
report that the employees
the money will appear. Salamata money will appear somehow.
Just appear, right? Okay.
Salamata, you remember the $100 million war for drugs?
The money will appear. Don't worry.
Remember the $40 million war for drugs?
Yeah.
No report needed. It will just happen. Don't worry.
All anti-appointed. So I don't know where US are coming from again.
Don't worry. The thing will appear. Don't worry. It will just appear.
Nelson, we gotta go. Let's listen to Liberian people. We'll take
Nelson, where your record?
You said for instance, if they just behind their so they record. We'll take about 10 cents for that pass. That's we're gonna take 10 calls from the Liberians. Where is the money? Elections. We need the money. We need to be educated for biometric. We need the people to be paid who are going to be doing all of this work. We need to have jingles to tell us where to go for our elections. All of that thing that costs money. Like people put a in the dark, even though they didn't send a virtual link so you can register virtually. My people now simply ask our people, yeah, where the money or where the report, which one they want.
Okay, so the numbers to call are 077771075 or 05551101075.
Madam
So we'll
Moderator,
take,
I would like to pledge $1 to NEC.
You guys joke yourself too, huh? Please, let's go to the phone call. Yeah?
I'm a citizen. I have the right to contribute to my country if they don't have money.
Hello, you live.
Thank you, Leslie. And let me say good evening to my friends, to the analysts, especially to our mother that owns like this is DJ Lumet calling from Corway.
Okay, go ahead quickly.
Honorable fact, there is no money in this country. At the end of the day, if we don't take time, this will be for interim government. As many interim government coming, the reason for someone to come on and say that today asking for money, that today asking for report, someone to ever give report on the budget that you have been passing for the past 6 years, for the Latin people to see. It's a shame. Look, the president just woke on yesterday and said, the play where he left from last year. The any report made to the Liberian people, for me, that useless trip. It's just take and use the taxpayer money and do nothing with it. And at the end of the day, they just sit and just eat them, enjoy themselves. So the trip is not necessary. The best thing the president can do for himself is you know you can't do a job, let him just listen. Because at the end of the day, there won't be no compromise. You have been breaking all the laws, no problem. But the identical election is for Lord has said. If I offer now to the 10th of October, you can't have the election, there will be a government. And I'm seeing it coming. Well, thank you for the program tonight.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Hello? Hello, you live?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, sir. You live.
Thank you. I'm the Critical Johnson, the Executive Director of the Martin Voice of Justice, because of Liberia. Dr. Francis Richardson, thanks so kindly. Honorable Eugene Facon, all of you doing wonderful on the show. Well, let me just say this. In Liberia now, as we speak, we have George Weah, a thief. They don't have money for this election. You know what they're waiting for? They are waiting the money that people promised, the American promised to give them for the election. So I think it is saddening, it is disheartening. No, they shouldn't make us to go and register at the end of the day. They say no election. If there will be no election, meaning we have to just resign, we have an interim president, or we decide. But
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, you live? Yeah, go ahead, Kamara.
Yeah, I want to thank the sister Dr. Richardson and Bishop on the show. I always listen to you. And my sister, I want to tell her thank you for providing the life of people every day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Steve Patrick. I'm joining you tonight from Mount Barclay. Let me say good evening to your panelists, most especially Fagon. People of Fagon, you know why? I can remember 2011 when election was going on, national election was going on. Some of our Latins were in a bush. We were hearing all around, like election time is coming, get ready to go vote. Time is coming. Go and register to where you will vote. October is election, October 10th. We saw all the indication on flyers, on radio. But for this one, it's very surprising. Even today, in Mosularo, I can rest assure you, Fagon, not everyone knows that election is ahead or election is in this year. It's very sad. I listened to that lady. And that's what my other brother said, these guys, we don't even know, but we are waiting on them. I think there will come a time we will have an interim government. But President Weah, you can't go back. When you go back, some of us will go at Central Street and bring it can't happen. We will never say that because delayed tactics,
Thank
this guy
you.
want to have here. Let me conclude. President Weah left this country, he went for 48 days. And according to Samuel Tuer, he was using money, on taxpayer money. And you see that? Then you come back for us to have election, then you want to play cockroach here. It will never happen when it happens.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello? Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
Okay, this is an Johnny's National Official Manchester resident. And I appreciate that the using Falcon. Using Falcon with your in person, we are going for anything bad to government. Now you got the worst propaganda on the social. Why you think I said double thing again?
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, please
And
make
yeah,
your
I'm
point.
asking you.
Yeah, go straight to the point, sir. Please. We have
Yeah,
a
I'm asking Falcon. You know, one time a person, worshiper, this God before he never saw anything. Since he left government, he trying to expose it. So why was he not seeing it before, but now?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Hello? Okay, we lost this person. Let's take this one. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. You're live.
Okay, this is James Toll. I call from Dupo Road.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I don't understand Eugene Fagon, the man who on without on payroll, according to disability. And those people that are praying that good thing in this country, that if they praying for interim government, they are lying to themselves. I don't care what they do, God are in heaven will provide. All the wicked that they plan that, oh, let's do this, so that so interested we rebuke it from them more. I refer them to the book of Psalm 135, verse 1. Oh, boy.
Thank you. Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, I'm Javiti. I'm calling from Ghana. My brother, let me tell you something. The government is not prepared for the election. What I'm seeing so, because look at what they are saying. They say with the registration and the voting will be all on. You see somebody from Lofa country way in the bush, what they know about all on. People in the bush, country people, what they know about all on. Because they didn't get money to carry on the election, so they want to cause famine. And we're seeing, before the election start, before we're talking about election, we see the chief of staff go over there, threatening the whole nation, the defense minister threatening the citizen, the police director went to work, do the same thing. Then I listened to Shannon Yu, who is wife of Edwin Snow, was carrying on raking the whole country, saying that they should trust the judicial system. Recently, Belete sent the news in Belete to damage our CPP, and Belete have a case there where Nyomlikanga on her right point. What they do?
Okay, thank
they
you.
Make sure they trace the case and they made Belete to
Thank
be a winner. So who would trust the judicial system?
Thank
it's
you.
Fake.
Thank you very much. Thank
Bye.
you. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Thank you for the time. My name is Patrick. I call from Monrovia.
Go ahead, sir.
Let me say hi to Jesus Fagon, hi to Salamantu, and hi to the entire panelists for the show. The reason why someone is delaying to give this money, they are timing is space so that people like will feel worried and so. But there's no practice, no kind of delay practice to stop LeBron from registering. The process is going to start Monday. LeBron will go to the various centers, wherever they carry the centers, they will register. And this is my first time hearing about elections coming. You don't even hear no jingles in the blood. You don't even see flyers street on the street. Normally, 3 months to elections, we start to hear about elections. When will be election? When will registration start? Exhibitions, all of this. But for this election, you will not even hear no song. How many persons know that Labrador is doing the elections? How many people know up in Tiros, even those within Monrovia, in some of those communities, how many people are very know that registration will start on Monday and will be on the 9th. There's no money to practice. If there's no money, they should make it clear. But see something? The census, the money that was sent for the census from donors, it did not do a diligent work.
The field do not promise you fund for the elections. You do not do diligent work. No sincere report. How will you get the second one to carry on your second work? This is what from them. Are the employees taking pay?
Okay.
These are questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's take this person. Hello, you live.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. You live.
Rufus Pastor from Bombay County, Clay District.
Okay, go ahead.
My people, we don't want to do any biometric voting. We want to go stand on the line, do our registration. We people want to continue to suffer us. And you, Eugene Fagon, from Bombing, you from right here. We want you to even come and contest. Because you always there speaking for us. You and Kevin Assange from Bombing, but you're mean, you forget about your turn your back on us. Lastly, you look at Salamanca these days, you are not being very firing when it comes to the issues. So if you like the woman, Mr. Fagon, you might be better, we can marry the woman for you. But continue to fight for us. But this day, you have just dropped in firing. You're not firing because of Salamanca. But you want to get the ANC, it will not work. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
I get it wrong.
Dr. Richardson, we still taking some calls?
Oh, that's not. I think we should go to our test.
We have the last person in the line.
The last person, that'll be our last person. Go to diaspora call.
Okay, you live. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me say good evening to the panelists this evening. This is Bobby Abu Menska. I phone from District 6, the SD Copper Road. Listen, let me say this to you. It is clear that the CDC government, we know that these guys doesn't have money to run an election. But listen, one thing that George Weah and his team need to know, when it reaches to October 10th, we will make sure that there will be an interim leadership. If George Weah cannot produce money from now on to March, and they will do another March for May, to see how better we can conduct election, because up to now, coming out of our locality, of the senator, of our community, there is no awareness. Money the people are going to they said we are going to do our biometric voter registration. Up to now, there's no awareness, there's no jingles on the radio. But yet still, our people still get hope that up to money they will go to register. Listen, the government needs to be serious. We will not sit for the president to turn the country on the wrong trajectory, because some of us will prepare to see how best that President George Weah will not be re-elected because of the kind of chaos, the disrespect that he has brought to our country on the international scene. We will not sit to see the irresponsible government denigrating our beloved country, Mama Labiro. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's over to you, Dr. Richardson.
Let's go to the diaspora callers.
Can you put a number up? Could they the number for the diaspora callers? I think it starts with 954.
Yes.
International line.
Correct. Thank you. Good day, you got that.
You didn't put it us out.
Well, I see the ad.
I put the number up.
Yeah, thank you. So international callers, you can call us from anywhere in the diaspora. Please call us and let us know your thoughts. Where's the money, or where's the report for the October 10th?
And the number is on the screen, 954-795-6664.
Thank you. Yeah, is our elections is really important. We speak about numbers here every day. And the institution that is supposed to tell us more about the numbers, about uphold our democracy, which you guys speak about here every day, they're saying that they don't have enough money. They asked for a certain amount, and they did not receive that amount of money. There were several great points that were raised today.
How you doing?
Hello.
Yeah.
Your name and where you calling from?
I just want to say something.
What's your name?
My name is Emmanuel.
Okay, Emmanuel, go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Francisco, Dr. Francisco talking. My name is Emmanuel Crusoe.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what is going on in Liberia? It's a two-way street. The American government, the way they play their game. Hello?
We're listening.
We listening, Chief.
They won't like Liberians listening to you.
Playing their game, that the American people are our problem. That speech that the American ambassador made, he was not specific in anything that he was doing or he was saying. At the end of the day, these people want George Weah to go second term. Trust me.
All right, thank you. Let's go to the next caller. Hello? 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 What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Philip.
Okay, Philip, you have 1 minute.
Turkey.
1 minute.
Hello?
Philip, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
How you guys doing, man? Honorable Fagon, let me be real with you, man. Thank you very much for you guys bringing out all the information to us. People don't let reality in Liberia. That's why I'm giving a hard time. You guys are speaking the truth. Somebody coming on and call in Bible first name. I don't know whether they are Christian or everybody want to say they're Christian in Liberia. The reality is that the fact you guys are saying over there, you know, the fact you guys say is the fact. Things are not going on right. You guys are bringing all these things up. And they're talking about Christian. You're speaking some this and that. Yeah, I don't understand our people.
All right, thank you.
You say the fact to them. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's go to the next caller. Hello? Hello, caller? Your name and where you calling from?
Hello?
What is your name and where you joining us from?
My name is Boakai. I'm calling you from Ireland.
Go ahead.
Yes. I'm following the show, and I think my advice to the Liberian is that the little chance that we have in October, they have to make a final decision. Because what is happening in Liberia is so disheartening, and looking at the kind of suffering that Liberians are undergoing. And I was just surprised of the statement made by the American embassy. That was just somehow, you know, it put the whole world in my head, and just wanting to know how are they analyzing issues regarding Liberia. But however, the Liberian has to make a better decision come October. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's get the next caller. Hello?
Yes, good evening, guys. How are you?
We great. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Adi, and I'm calling you from Massachusetts.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for the show. I'm just going to be a little bit brief. First of all, I'm wishing for this weird government to please give Leo Napolo Johnson job. Everything that he's saying here, I want for him to take it to Liberia to make sure that it works. Leo, let me tell you something, my brother. The thing that you're talking about, what you are doing in Canada, it is not what is happening in Liberia. This government in Liberia is not a responsible government. Those things that you are talking about can only happen in a responsible government. I'm telling you, my brother. So when you come on the show, you try to listen, not because of carrying one little Liberia in Liberia, and you think it is all, my brother. It's not all. This government is different. It's on the opposite. And I want to tell you, my friend and brother Fakon, thank you so much, my brother. Keep firing.
Thank you. We should continue? Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Cesar.
Go ahead, 1 minute. Make your point.
Hello?
Hello, you are live.
balance the show. I've been watching the show for so long. And look, since Kev Fattah, all the guys left, you're the only person that make this show balance. All the other people for different opposition things, and they just keep making this show look bad. They're just saying all the negative thing about the government. And Leo, you're not talking for the government. You're balancing things. You're trying to ask the people, what is information that we understand? About Salamatu, Gray, not even Dr. Richardson can even get what they can just say negative things, but it can't even say, help us. When you see the president in the chair, going away, what was that?
All right.
No, Leo, you are the right person to be on his platform, and I bet you, my brother, you're doing good. Don't worry about what the people say. Like Robo always said negative, even when Ellen was there, they said negative to her. Leo, you are the right person on this platform. I am so much thankful to Second Water School for having you to be on the show. Please stay. Be patient, my brother. This will be all right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That's all.
Yes, we can move on to our closing comments right now. Liberians, we want to just thank you, all of our callers, for being a part of the show. We want to thank you, all of our commentators who are viewing the show and putting the comments in the comment boxes out there. Thank you for being a part of this show. So we're going to begin our closing comments right now. We'll start with Salamatu, and then we go to Leo Johnson and Conor Gray, and then I will give my closing thought, and Mr. Fagon, as usual, will take us home. Salamatu, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. To the last caller about us providing negative news, I would like to challenge him that every day he should send something positive that the government is doing in Liberia. So I beg him, please send us.
I know, right?
Positive that the government is doing. Yeah, we beg you.
You announce it too.
Yeah, or he might. We got a knee. He might. Please, I beg you, I need a knee, and we'll follow up with him. Two, you know what Leo is saying about access to a report. I understand that, because again, when I work at the chamber, and one of the biggest thing about the WTO was, of course, harmonizing and transparency, and not just transparency, but making information accessible to the public. Meaning, if Leo is in Canada and Leo wants to open some kind of business, or he wants to do business with the Port Authority or whatever, the information is supposed to be accessible. It's supposed to be in the most accessible thing right now is what is the website. So I do understand when he said, you know what, we need to be putting all of the information out there, so everybody can have equal access to this. Unfortunately, sorry, we don't do that. Yeah, we don't do that. We had all the information from the last elections on the website. When I happened to by the time people started talking about data, what was that? It disappeared. But we sitting out here and we smiling about this, but it's a very dangerous road that Liberia is heading towards. One, when you start to violate the Constitution. And we saw that with the referendum. There was no education on that. And luckily, the referendum just didn't pass. People were complaining when these machines came out. They were saying that, the company, I think even USAID had a problem with the company that was doing the machine. So people have been having problems with this. They've been speaking out about this leading up to this year. Now we're pressed for time. We're hearing from the horse's mouth that, hey, look, if you ain't even give us our money, we're supposed to start next week and we don't have the money. So I hope that the legislature would do what they're mandated to do, to call the Minister of Finance in and let him come and tell us what's the holdup. If it is a thing about a report, let him come and say it. But we're going into the weekend. We know we don't work on Saturday and Sunday, so it would be interesting to see what happened. Second of all, when people talk about the U.S. ambassador, blah blah blah, I'm a Liberian American, proud Liberian American. The U.S. ambassador's statement it's like when we like it, then we say, oh, you want to get rid of Josh Weah. When we like it, we say, oh, they meant for Josh Weah. The partners in general, they're frustrated with us. They're frustrated with the level of corruption. They're frustrated the fact that the citizens are not constructively holding the government accountable. When I say constructively, meaning that, you know, we're not really supposed to be jumping in the street and trying to kill each other. We can march. Everything's supposed to be peaceful, but we supposed to constructively engage the government. And I think they're frustrated. They're frustrated to the point where you have the CIA director coming into Liberia, which is not very usual. You have the anti-corruption people coming into Liberia, which again, you know, they didn't come on a pleasant trip. So, you know, introducing his colleagues, he was just very, he talked about the corruption in Liberia. All of us are saying corruption, but when somebody else calls us on it, they won't get vexed. So Liberians, once again, you're going to the polls in October. We will have elections. By hook or crook, somebody will pay for it. We'll have elections in October. That's how we function. We're not proactive. We depend on our international partners for the money and the resources. And then when they give us the money and resources and they put them up in our business, then we want to add that we zero country. So leading up to that, we will have elections, but the way it's looking, elections just look like there will be a lot of violence, there'll be a lot of chaos, and it just seemed like it's a recipe for a fraudulent, unfair elections. But you know, good show as always. I enjoy the debate. Yeah, love it. And I beg you, please leave Minister Fagon. Yeah, y'all, I beg y'all, hold your foot.
They're causing trouble for
Look, I don't even have to pay dowry. People are willing. The whole country said,
but people want to bring cow and goat and everything else.
Yeah,
you know my mom from Pomi, right?
You see, she herself falling through. She herself falling for
yeah,
it.
oh yeah.
Who is your mom?
My mother passed away 12 years ago.
Yeah, but
her
she
name
Gola.
Chima. Yeah, then as a Gola named Chima.
And if she Gola, you Gola.
No, I'm not Gola. No, my man.
So Dr. Francis, you can't do the matchmaking for the people else.
Okay, on my show, we thought I wanted in the chat room in the back. We'll have a meeting. So, Leo, please let me go to you right now. We're establishing linkage here.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to first of all remind everybody, they're thinking in Liberia that you're either opposition or you government. Y'all sit down there. We commit our lifetime to opposition or government. We commit our lifetime to Liberia. We will continue to objectively speak about the issues in Liberia, no matter whose side fall on. Anybody the jacket for you wear. That's my own problem. So let's stop thinking this idea, because today one group that opposition, tomorrow that same group could become government. The last time that CDC were in opposition. So everybody who were on opposition said CDC chair them. Today CDC in government. So anybody opposition said CDC hate them and hate the point. So you please leave me and not opposition and government in Liberia. The second piece I want to go to. I really want to, we use terminologies in Liberia. We've overused them so much that sometimes we don't take a break to define them. I will read a definition of what a report is. A report consists of the evaluation of the facts, discussion of the likely outcomes of the future courses of action, recommendations as to a course of action, and conclusions. So when we say report, we're not just asking for how much money the people now spend. We're saying what has been done, what hasn't been done, and what will be needed to be done to remedy the situation, which means we will find out where we end up because of the failure of everything that happened. What do we need to do to make sure elections are successfully held? Do we need to go big? Let's figure out who we need to go big and who willing to give us money or not. Is money in the account? No, it's not there. Then we got to figure out if we're not having election or not. So when we say report, before, sometimes let's just take a step back and take a look at what we are asking for holistically and not just one aspect of it. The last thing I will close on, Dr. Francine, is that, so those are y'all who seen our library we're building a learning center. Librarian, you can write a thing in big print. They will still choose their SAR. We're building a learning center that will house a public library, a children's library, a small business incubation center, an indoor sports and recreation facility, and we're redoing the Pinsville City Hall as well. All is costing us $2 million. And by the way, I just came from a meeting 2 weeks ago that the Hamilton Public Library in Canada, their board has voted to commit 8 years to help develop a national library system for the Republic of Liberia. So you're not let library, you're not let both Benin, you're not let learning center Benin, that your issue. That I'm an issue. To face Liberia, we need 50 years effort. So you'll be waiting for Ottawa 10 election. Ottawa 10 election will kind will finish, Liberia will still be there, will be here. So you're thanking you, my people, you're good there.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you. Colonel Gray.
All right, so you know, I can bet my gut feeling is telling me that probably it was the Minister of Finance who called you and talked about report. I mean, my instinct is telling me that because the thing about it is this.
I've never met Samuel Twa in my life. Now that I
You don't have to. I said you call. I didn't say you
I've never talked to the man in my life ever.
Okay. All right, let it there.
I've never even seen him or been in the same room or talked to him.
The Elections Commission is a quasi-judicial body. One of the corridors she reports to is the legislature. She goes there and makes a report. Reports can be written, it can be verbal. In other words, you are giving account of how certain thing was expended, if it is money. They don't report to Samuel Twa. Samuel Twa should not be sitting down there waiting for the Elections Commission to go and make a formal financial report to him as to how she expended the first money that was allotted to them. So let's put that to rest. You understand? And secondly, I still believe that this is just a way of buying time. You know, if the money was there, they would have given it. But they are deciding whether or not to enable a process that will come and unseat them from power. That's what this is all about. You give the Elections Commission what it's supposed to. Firstly, they delayed the biometrics process. They put stock to it. Thank God they gave us a little bit of biometrics. We'll find a way for it to work. I believe Liberians, they can work with what they have. The thing about it is they still have not been able to find a cogent way to rig this election. Everything they're trying to do is it's sort of like it's bringing them back to the reality that they will lose the elections. You see the temperament of Liberians. They're flaring. Liberians are not happy at all. They just want this day to get calm and just go by. People may not be paying attention, but a lot of folks paying attention to this process. They can't wait for October to come. That's one. And then, by the way, the United States, through USAID, has been one of the largest funders of our library system. The University of Liberia, minus the Africana Room, which is one of the epic center of Africa, intellectualism. People who don't know. People used to come from all over the continent to make research in our library. Just that small room called the Africana, because it got so much to offer. The United States is responsible primarily to make sure there's an upgraded system of restoring even the books that are decommissioned. They'll find a way to digitalize those books and make them available for people doing research. Books not necessarily physically on the shelf. We have different ways to access our information. So I want Leo to understand too that the United States always makes sure that the computers in our University of Liberia system is up to standard. The library is another one. It's up to standard. If you go there now, crispy clean, they always make sure they bring the modern test. So I'll leave it here, but my system, for some reason, it was not coming up, but we have ways to improvise.
We're glad to have you. My thoughts today is about, the report, and also is about where is the money. Leo, I think I really appreciated you when you started off this conversation by talking about the fact that we don't have data security in our country, the fact that people are still using Gmail to keep confidential government documentation on there. And that leads me to talking about the report. I wonder if the fact that we don't have adequate reporting relates to perhaps money can be allocated for these things, but then we can't find where the money goes in the future. So I just wonder, and it then relates to me how good governance come into play and unconstitutionality comes into play, because again, when money are allotted for certain things and you do something else with it, it's unconstitutional. I want to then go to my thoughts about where is the money. That's my question today. Where is the money?
Want to report?
Where did it go? Well, we don't want to report. Actually, at this point,
I joking.
I know. You have a right to ask for that. This is the beauty of this platform. I like the back and forth. I enjoyed it myself today. So Leo wants a report. I want to know where's the money, because right now I'm thinking about what is at hand. Our elections, they are at hand. We are almost borderlining, to me, a crisis mode. I cannot imagine being in the United States in 6 months or so before elections. Then we start asking for where is the money. And my question is specifically to Samuel Twe and anybody in his office. Please feel free to come here to tell us where the money is, or you can send a note or whatever. If you don't want to come, you can send a recording. Although I would hate for you to speak to us through recording, because that's not a good experience. So tell us, where's the money? You promised to give NEC $33 million in 3 different phases: 10 million, 10 million, and 13 million. That's what you promised to do. The woman talking here today, she only got $4 million so far, and that was also pre-financed. Some people are saying, Salamatu and Fagon are saying, by the biometrics company. So again, where's the money? Is there something going on in our economy, in our government, that maybe you need to then go and report to the legislature that there's shortfall in our government, that perhaps you are unable to come up with this money? Every day we come to the show, some of you call in, we talk about numbers here. The people who are supposed to protect and give us these numbers to tell us who in our country is eligible to vote, the people ain't got money, and we're not talking about it, okay? But we want to talk about numbers. Just how we want to emphasize and hold political parties, and tell Liberians about, oh, this person got this percent, that percent. Hold our government feet to the fire. Let them tell us where we are regarding our elections. Let Samuel Twe go and speak to the legislature. Let the legislature put fire under the feet of Samuel Twe to get the people the money, so we can have a good and democratic elections in our country. Lastly, I want to tell you guys, it was a great show. I really enjoyed the exchange. I think Liberians were kind of modeling what it's like to have differences of opinion, but still be cordial with each other, good friends. I really admire how Salamatu and Fagon and Leo and Remy Gray, they were going back and having this differences of opinion, but yet we still are chatting, we're still talking to each other, and there's no hard feelings. And Leo can come back and say, I'm not here for your political party business. We're not here for political party business. We're here for Liberia. We'll ask the right questions. Yes, we might have some similar affiliations. Falcon, you heard that? Similar affiliations, okay? But that doesn't mean when Leo say jump, Salamatu will say hi, or I will say hi. We will duke it out, and somehow we'll come to some kind of settlement of exchange of ideas here. So I want to just thank callers, viewers. Somebody suggested I should start reading comments for the video viewers. I'm going to look into that. That tells us that you're enjoying the show, that you want to be a part of the show. They said that we shouldn't just do callers, we should also read the viewers' comment. And I just want to make sure that we select them in a good way. That's why I don't want to be one-sided. That's my problem. I want to
before somebody comment show what they're not supposed to be shown.
Exactly. Then so or before somebody say, oh, I only selecting only this party comment or that party comment, so I gotta be very mindful about how we do that. So thank you very much. Let's again, October 10, if it should happen, let's vote for a more deserving Liberia. Let's vote for a leader, not your leader, no more business, not the popularity, no more business, everything we're talking about. Y'all vote for somebody who can come and say, elections coming in 6 years. This is my plan.
And you had a budget for it.
You had a report for it. Leo say you want to report. This is what we are doing. We are having jingles. We are preparing now. After the day of the election, we are preparing now. Fargon, please take us home.
Thank you. And let me say thank you to all of our people who listen to us, the ones who call. And I say special thanks to Leo Salimatu and Colonel E. Remy Gray, including you, Madam Moderator. Thank you to all of our people out there listening to us. Let me start my closing by saying that we've longed as a nation for a budget performance report. And for the last 6 years, we have not seen one. So we believe that whether it is this report from the contractors or the budget performance report, doesn't matter. A report is necessary, and I will look forward to that. To many Liberians out there who now seem to be expressing frustration at the statements from the U.S. ambassador, I'll say to you, you have the right to do so. It's your right. It is his opinion. His opinion does not represent facts. There's over 500,000 Liberians in the diaspora. The action of one of two individuals cannot be laid upon the shoulders of each and every Liberian in the diaspora. He said he was very ashamed and that the action of some, not all, Liberians in the United States were despicable. As I said before, I hope he had balanced it by saying the government has a responsibility to inform her citizens. And in the absence of credible information, they will speculate and rumors will fly around. I think he should have been balanced, and his failure to do so have got Liberians feeling bad, including myself. I can say that for a fact because the previous ambassador sent a text to the president, who then sent a text back to McGill, and McGill and Tua called me, stating that the ambassador then has said that I behaved worse, and I'm quoting her, worse than a Zogo when I called for President Salif to be dragged throughout the streets in handcuffs in an interview that I had with Smith Toby. Thankfully, when the president called for my firing and I was being quizzed by the two senior officials, I provided the tape. And in that tape, it was established that the person before me was a guy called Sagboli. He had spoken, he had made that comment, not a well-educated man like me. Had the president listened to her, and had it not been verified by Eugene Nangbe, who sent my entire tape to the president, the information would have led to my firing, and that would have been it. It's now established that it was false beyond all reasonable doubt. So just because a person is an ambassador does not mean they cannot be wrong. Nobody is perfect. Having said that, the workers from NEC, they did a workshop to operate the same biometric stuff. Guess what, Dr. Francine? 5 days workshop, they should have been paid 15,000 LD. All of them were only paid 1,005 LD. And the workshop ended without them able to touch the BVR kit. Don't tell me, Leo, I will show you the plane I brought it. I get a picture. I will show you the boxes they keep it on.
I really say my own team. I'm not challenging you nowhere. Please go ahead.
Now,
you
don't want to report.
You are fully protected. I only want to report.
That tells you
I'm not challenging you.
where we are. Majority of the callers tonight said that they were not informed, meaning voters' education is not happening in the country, which is a violation of the law. We didn't tell them to tell us. They told us that we don't even know anything that's going on. That in itself is a violation of the law also. Now, we look at the government right now. I can say the government does not have enough foreign exchange. You say, how do we know? The employees, they owe the employees 2 months. They cannot find the FX. They are paying all the foreign contractors in LD. Nimba, Pong, and Basa. Bombing Bapolu Cape Mount. They cannot find FX. So with the NEC demanding this money, where will the FX come from? It is another reality. Now, NEC is not prepared because we know what we know now. But look at the president. We're talking about our election. He gone for 1 more week again, my people. They say, come to America. You say they put invite you to America. Where you go to in UAE now? You went there during the World Cup. You move on the person that uno delegation. The king that dedicated the hospital. They say, come to America. You say you going UAE. What did he go do there again? But he gone there. Then early next week, he will come to America. We went on the website. What's the purpose of the visit? He will meet with some officials and some investors. Who are these people you meeting with? You went for 48 days. Just your incidental alone, not 6,000. But at the end of the day, what happened? So again, to you, the Liberian people, let me say this to you. Remain calm. Remain peaceful. Get out there and register. I know it will be difficult, but time and tides wait for no man. And as a country, we can all come together peacefully to do what is right. And that is, I strongly believe, in closing now, if you cannot win Lofa, if you cannot win Bomb, if you will not win Mimba, and you cannot win Magibi, and you know you're not win Paso, and you know you're not win Monserrato, kiss the president, say goodbye. It's a standard that we've set in the country. They're the most populated counties. And of course, Bomi, Bapolu, Cape Town, they saw everything from us. Fast and we eat. So we don't expect to see anybody there. Have a pleasant day and thank you, Madam Moderator.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
I don't know that man that you're bragging you inside or you just get some information for all what they may go in UAE. We don't know. So
if I tell you, Jada, you will not believe it because you won't argue.
Because I will not see the rating document. Me, I let rating.
Your report.
Yeah,
I want to report.
yeah. Fagon say as a country, Fagon you started the president.
The message le brabi.
Yeah, as a country.
According to the legislators.
No, I see that tomorrow. You can
your son and car, where you rushing for?
Good night.
I can use my mother too. Nobody pepper yet. Bye bye.
Bye.
Well, folks, we want to say thanks a lot to all of you out there for staying with us through this edition of the program Spoon Talk. Thanks to all of you who called in. Thanks to those of you who tried but didn't make it through the line. Thanks to those of you who made their contributions in the comment section on the different platforms. We've been here producing the back end. I'm Nelson Colette. James Gude Flomo is also here. The invitation is yours to join us tomorrow, same time for another edition of the program. Until that time, have for yourselves a good night. Bye-bye.